What's up, guys? How's it going? Um, Welcome to the live stream for Chapter 11, the penultimate episode, which is super depressing. Um, just making sure you guys can see me and hear me. Can you guys see me and hear me? How's it going? Um, let's see. Hey, there we go. Hello, Amber. How's it going? Thank you guys all for joining. D-Boss, Moonlight, Sakura Omi, Aurora Blue, Ethic. Hey, what's up, Michael? Dan, as always. Thank you guys for joining. Ian, I see you in the chat. I see you, Charlie. Georgia Thompson, Matthew Trapp, Dominic, Jonathan, Kyle. I saw, dude. Hey, how's it going, Bebop, Alec? Yeah, the freaking chat just fucking erupted. How's it going, guys? I hope you guys had a good week. So first off, some of you guys are probably wondering, it is Tuesday. This live stream was supposed to go up on Sunday. What happened? The worst thing probably happened that I was stressing out about for the rest of the day into yesterday. My computer, my laptop blue screened on me, like the blue screen of death that everyone hears about and occasionally happens to some people. Sunday I woke up. Actually, mind you, Saturday night I clipped all of the screenshots for this live stream discussion for Sunday, so I didn't have to do as much work on Sunday. So Saturday, I watched the episode, probably the earliest I've ever watched it. The episodes usually come out at 11 o'clock my time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. And the earliest I've ever watched RWBY, because usually either the episode will buffer or the site will crash depending on how hype or how excited people are to just immediately watch the episode. I think I watched the episode like 15 minutes after it came out. Usually I'll wait like an hour or two, but I watched the episode as early as possible, and then for the rest of Saturday into Saturday night, I got screenshots for the episode. What ended up happening, though, was between Saturday night and Sunday morning, I turned my computer on Sunday morning, and my screen, like, a blue screen, and I was like, it's happened before. This computer is 8 years old this year, so this laptop is extremely old and, like, outdated and whatnot. So, I turned it on, it blue screened, and this has happened in the past, where I just turn it off, wait a few minutes, and I turn it back on, and I did that probably about 10 times that day, and I was super stressed because I was like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I need this computer to make videos, to do everything. And so I had to hit up a friend of mine who recently, like, in the past, he's helped me out with this problem where I think it was like the BIOS. There was some kind of issue with the laptop. I don't really know. I didn't really get too much into it because I'm not tech savvy when it comes to like the inner workings of a computer and what's wrong with it and how specifically you have to fix it. But thankfully, like, super thankfully, a friend of mine was able to restore it back to a previous setting, which was Saturday, but it was after, like, my reaction was still saved on the computer, but the screenshots weren't saved. So all day yesterday into today, I had to redo the screenshots for the episode. And I lost a few files of other things that I had saved on the computer, but I was like, I don't really give a shit about that. As long as my reaction was saved, that's all I cared about. I didn't really care to go back and re-get the screenshots, because I would have been really upset if the reaction got lost, because that fucking Grim at the end was so fucking sick. That Grim was so fucking dope, and I'm definitely gonna get into it. So ultimately, that's why this is delayed until today. I was gonna do it yesterday, but it wasn't until like midday yesterday. Actually, last night I ended up getting my computer back. So, so yeah, that is, in a nutshell, the reason for the delay. You've never played Kingdom Hearts? I absolutely recommend every person who hasn't played Kingdom Hearts to play Kingdom Hearts. That is my favorite video game of all time. Yeah, the sync, I can't really, if anything's out of sync, I literally have no control over that. That's mainly with connectivity or if it's on your end or something, so I do apologize about that. Yeah, wow, there's 335 people in here already, so thank you guys very much. Yeah, my end, it says my stream health is in the green, which is like the best that it could be. So I'm not entirely sure how else to go about fixing it, if it has anything to do, if lag's like a severe issue for any of you guys. Sorry about that. You can't stay long because I have college in the morning, but I'll stay as long as possible. Well, I do appreciate that, definitely. And if you, whatever you miss, you can just pick up whenever you can once the video's uploaded to my channel. All the live stream discussions are uploaded. And before anything else, I looked in the chat before I started the I almost said let's play, before I started the live stream, and I noticed there's a few of you guys who are in the stream for the first time. So if this is your first time in the stream, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. I will preface by saying that I usually go off on tangents. I usually ramble a lot. I stray off topic. So just be aware of that. And the streams typically last between anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours per episode. So that is the extent of what you guys can expect. Next week is the last episode, like I was mentioning. Very, very saddened and depressed and upset by that, because it's like, I don't know. It's like I love when Ruby's around, and I feel so happy and in the moment and excited whenever a new episode comes out, and then for it to go away, it's like, what am I gonna do now? You know what I mean? But I have like fan art to look forward to. I have Ruby Chibi to look forward to. You know, I'm still going to be doing RWBY stuff even after Volume 4 ends. I'm going to have a community video that I'm going to involve other RWBY creators on YouTube to partake in, which is going to be fun as well. And, like right now, I'm rambling. So, but also, I usually dedicate the first 15 to 20 minutes for people joining the stream and just engaging with you guys in the chat. But yeah, the RWBY hiatus usually does suck. But a big thing, and I've constantly had to inform people on this because I feel like at some point the message got lost for some. But I'm planning March 1st to be the return of Red vs. Blue reactions on my channel. The reason why I need that 2-week buffer is because I have other videos that I want to get out and absolutely have my palette clean, like have a clean palette, so that way I can only have to focus on Red vs. Blue reactions, like follow-up videos for Red vs. Blue, and then streaming, which I'm going to be getting into with Kingdom Hearts in April. So that was like the big thing. A lot of people have been asking me, did you drop Red vs. Blue? Do you not like it? Are you ever going to go back to it? And I felt like it was very apparent and very clear. But again, like I said, I didn't message it. I didn't get the message across as clear as or as thorough as I should have. But like RWBY is like the heart of my channel. RWBY is like what my channel thrives off of. That is where majority of my subscribers come from. That is, at the end of the day, what I'm most passionate about out of everything that I produce on my channel. So when Volume 4 was coming around with the character short, with the World of Remnants, with you know, news and information from like New York Comic Con and RTX and stuff like that, I prioritize RWBY over all of those other things. So when I finished season 3 of RWBY, I was like, honestly, I don't want to start season 4 and then not give it the treatment that it deserves, not give it the attention it deserves, because I know my mind's going to be elsewhere. So that is why I haven't been doing RWBY, but RWBY will be coming back in March for my reactions, and I'm basically going to have 2 solid months of just nothing but RWBY, because RWBY Chibi Season 2 doesn't start until May. And on top of that, the weekend after my finale reaction goes up, RWBY Chibi episodes 21 to 24 will be up as well. So I have watched the episode. It was really great. And the ending, like with the we'll see you guys next season or whatever, like the sitcom ending, that was, I think that was like a telling that we were going to get a season 2, but it was just up in the air at the moment because, you know, we didn't know what was going to happen after RWBY Volume 4 ended, and then we're getting like Camp Season 2, RWBY 15. I think they're doing a brand new animated series. So there's a shit ton of stuff that the RT Animation has up their sleeve for what they're gonna do. Yeah, the hiatus is not for doing RWBY stuff. Yeah, so like RWBY proper will be going away, but I'm really excited for Chibi to see if there's anything that I can pull from it to make like my RWBY shorts, which are really fun and exciting for me to do. I already have a few in mind on top of that. Oh my god, am I late? No, you are just in time. 407 of you guys are in here. The stream's only been going for about 15 minutes, so I'm probably going to dedicate another 5 minutes or so to letting people join and just chatting with you guys before we get into the episode, which the episode, honestly, was very, very rapid, very quick. I think the longest scene that we got was between either Weiss's scene or Blake's scene. The opening scene with Cinder and Salem and Tyrian, that was very interesting, just to see where things are going with those characters, mainly for Tyrian, like what's going to become of him afterwards. And the ending scene, like with Team Ranger, I think that was less than a minute. Like, I think that scene was less than a minute just to set up next week's episode. So the episode felt very, 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 very quick. Yeah. Yeah, talk about a meltdown. Have you heard about the live-action RWBY? Yes, I did. Bernie Burns, I think it was an article that Bernie was in. He mentioned that he'd be interested in making a live-action series down the line, which I am one of two minds with that, because like I love the idea of that, but you have like Attack on Titan live action, you have Dragon Ball Evolution, you have, I think they're doing like a Full Metal Alchemist live action, and none of those are good. Like Attack on Titan and, well, at least Attack on Titan and Dragon Ball Evolution, those are out and those are just terrible, like straight up bad. And Full Metal Alchemist I feel like is going to be the exact same thing, is because you can't make fantasy. It's you just can't. Like, I can understand if you're going to do like a CG movie, kind of like Final Fantasy, like Advent Children or Kingsglaive. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be super awesome if they did that. But you can't replicate fantasy aspects of a show in real life. It just doesn't work. The only live action that I've ever seen and that I was actually very, very, very happy with it was Death Note, because the entirety of Death Note is very realistic aside from the Shinigami. That is it. And they really did a good CG Shinigami Ryuk. And other than that, like, everything else is legitimate. Like, you can stage people dying from the Death Note, like, dying in real life. That is the only animated... That is the only live-action adaptation of an animated series that they did it right. And actually, in my opinion, I think they did it a little bit better than the show. So... like I said, I would love... I think they did a live-action Rurouni Kenshin as well that was really successful, but, like, RWBY is just too fantastical. It's just too over-the-top, to where I would see it being, like, successful, in the eyes of people who see it from the animation side and wanting that replicated live. Oddly enough, I'm not impressed with the Death Note live action. Honestly, I mean, I don't really know what else what necessarily could be expected of that for it to be better. I mean, I completely, respect the fact if it wasn't impressive to you, that's fine. I wasn't necessarily impressed. I was just glad that it followed suit. Like, it was just really well done, because it was like there was no overarching, like, there was no insurmountable level of expectation that would have been like, oh man, I wonder how they're gonna pull that off. You know what I mean? Like, Attack on Titan was like, well, how are you gonna invoke the fear and the paranoia of, like, Titans? How are the Titans gonna look, if anything, because they're not fucking real? Dragon Ball Z was probably, like, the biggest flop, because that shit has, like, flying and Super Saiyans and, like, Kamehamehas and shit like that, so it's just very hard to bring that to light, you know what I mean? And then in RWBY, you have aura, you have semblances, you have high-speed action, you have, like, all of these different creatures based off animals, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't wrap my head around a live-action RWBY, I really can't. As much as I love RWBY, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't. Yeah, RIP special effects. If they did a CG, like, RWBY, that'd be great. Or even better, like, why not make a RWBY movie, like, animated? Like, if it's gonna be a movie, there's no way that it's gonna be canon. So that'd be super cool to have, like, a traditional 2D animated RWBY movie. That'd be so fucking cool. That would be something different, but it's still within the realms of, like, their imagination and creativity to do whatever they want, because they can animate it to life versus actually making it come to life in real life. So... Yeah, that's just like the only thing that I'm like, I don't know. Uh, but before I get into anything else, what did you guys think about the episode? What did you guys I mean, you guys are free to just go all out. Why don't you stream this on Twitch? Mainly because the majority of the audience that I have is on YouTube, and Twitch is a very small niche audience that I have of people who've migrated to. And I just feel like it would be a lot. I don't know. It's just more convenient for you guys. Honestly, it's more convenient for 475 people who will definitively see it or get a notification and come to YouTube versus people who don't know how to use Twitch or aren't following me on Twitch, so they won't get the notifications. And then when they miss the live event, they feel like they missed out. So that's the main reason why I do it on YouTube, is so it's convenient for you guys. Because I know I could put these on Twitch and boost my growth there, like for people who are willing to migrate and check it out, but I don't want to do that. It was a good episode seeing the new Grimm. I loved it. I was flipping my shit. It was fucking awesome. Now here's the bigger question, because I'm going to give you guys a question on top of the question I already gave you. How long do you think tomorrow, Jesus Christ, I wish it was tomorrow. How long do you think the finale episode's going to be? Like, the longest finale we've gotten was 28 minutes, and that was last volume, and that wrapped up the Fall of Beacon, that introduced, like, the Silver Eyes, and that kind of gave way to the introduction of setting up for Volume 4. 30 minutes, 20 plus... 25, 35, wow, half an hour. It has to be longer than 20 minutes. Like, I feel like it just has to be, you know what I mean? I feel like this entire volume has been like a setup volume. It's been a setup for everyone converging, for everyone converging on Mistral and Haven, and all the set pieces are in play. Volume 4, I don't really know how it's gonna end, but wow, 40 minutes, that's extremely long. That's like a short film almost. Finally catching one of these lives. What's up, Mr. Happy Sadass? I think that's what it was. Your name just scrolled up, but I did read your comment. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Joshua. Yeah, setup, horrible pacing. I honestly can't say there was anything that I didn't really have any expectations for the volume in terms of what I felt was too slow or too fast-paced. I mean, you want to talk about pacing? Freaking Volume 1, dude. That was, but then again, that had a reason to be terribly paced, because they were learning as they were going, so I can understand where you're coming from on that, especially. Yeah, chat is definitely in slow mode. Extraterrestrial, thank you very much for the support. Hello from Massachusetts. I'm also from Massachusetts. That is awesome. Making my day. Oh, nice. We need more Neo. This was actually, I was very surprised that we didn't see anybody else. Like, we didn't see anyone from Team Coffee. Like, it's like, well, in the grand scheme of things, they're not central to the story, at least not yet. They're mainly, obviously, they're supporting characters. But I was very surprised that we didn't see anybody from Team Sun or from Team, like I said, Team Coffee or any of the other school, like, students. Very surprised by that. We haven't seen Neo yet. I don't even know how she's going to be relevant. I've mentioned this. Whenever Neo's brought up, I always mention, I'm like, no clue how Neo will ever be relevant without Torchwick, you know? So, I'm just curious about that, honestly. What do you think of the chronological order of Volume 4? Chronological order? Oh, chronological order. Like, you mean, like, we get, like, one moment and then almost like a mini time skip, like a few weeks time skip between characters? I mean, it's good. You're unable to know what happens when. Like, when is Yang leaving, as opposed to, like, Is Yang leaving at at the exact same time Weiss is leaving, at the same exact time Team Ranger's getting attacked by that Grim? Everything's happening at a different moment, so it's hard to put it in chronological order, to be honest. Yeah, episode 11 is out, yes. Episode 11 comes out on Saturday for first members. It comes out on Sunday for anybody who has a Rooster Teeth account, whether you pay for the Rooster Teeth account or whether it's a free membership account. And when I mean free, some people are under the assumption that it's a free trial account. Like, a free trial is an account that is going to integrate into a first membership account. Like, those are completely separate. You can create an account on the Rooster Teeth website, and that's it. Like, no credit card, no payments, no nothing. And you can watch the episodes on Sunday. So, for anybody who is under that suspicion, don't worry about it. The episodes come out on Saturday for everyone on the Rooster Teeth site. You just have to create an account, email, username, email, password. This is not, like, sponsored or anything. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Especially since someone actually said the episode is out. Like, damn, dude. Like, you have to check out that episode. What do you think other than the obvious for the finale? Well, my theory on Watts being the headmaster for Mistral is essentially debunked by the mention of Leo, which I'll talk about in the discussion. But unfortunately, that was like the thing that I was hoping really caught us off guard and was something surprising that we could look forward to for future volumes. But I don't know. I would like to see at least what Watts is up to, because we know Tyrion's back. You know, he's having his meltdown. We know that Hazel is still on his way to SiennaCon, but we don't know what Watts is up to. I'd like to see what Watts is up to at least next episode, or the finale credits, the final ending credit scene, or something. But yeah, Leo is definitively, I think by his name alone, is definitively the Cowardly Lion, which apparently isn't Tai Yang, which a lot of people just inferred because it's like, well, who else would it be? And we have another headmaster that we don't know about, who the headmaster of Vacuo. So I wonder if he's going to come in, or she's going to come in to be like another Wizard of Oz reference. Yeah, Watts could be competition for the Schnee Dust Company. Let's see. Yeah, I know Watts is meeting an informant in Mistral, but, like, that's just the thing, you know what I mean? Like, he's meeting an informant in Mistral, but it would have been interesting if he was himself, like, he was meeting an informant in Mistral because he was where Salem was, so, like, what if he was just going back to where he was initially? But I don't know. I thought it would have just been pretty cool to see that, to be honest. Just came in. How much did I miss? Nothing. We are just discussing. We're just having some banter right now before we get into the episode. Just reading the chat right now. When is the soundtrack for this volume coming out? There's no mention, release date, or anything for it, so we just gotta be patient and wait. Just for some context. Volume 3 ended February 14th, which was on Valentine's Day last year. I think the soundtrack came out in May. So, it was like a 3-month wait before we got the soundtrack. So, you know, just have that open-mindedness when it comes to expecting the soundtrack anytime soon. Yeah, like, I'm super interested with Watts. It's like he's the only one we haven't seen, so I just hope that we get to see him. And I wonder if we're going to get any new villains or any new characters. Like, we got Salem at the... Like, what is going to be the end credit scene? The end credit scene is always something that sparks discussion, theories, and, you know, all of the above whenever RWBY ends. Like, Volume 1, it was like, oh, well, who's this chick and her accomplices, like Cinder, M, and Merc. Volume 2 was, who is Raven? Is that her mom? Is that her twin sister? Blah, 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 blah. Volume 3 was, Crow is actually a crow, and then that brought up discussions of, was he the birds that were in the previous trailers, or was he any of the birds you know, that were seen throughout Volume 3 prior, or, and then that also sparked, well, does Raven have the same semblance since they're twins? So I'm wondering, I'm really looking forward to the end credit scene, especially. Everyone forgets the part of Watts' character, his VA. Yeah, yeah, fucking Vegeta, dude. Nah, I don't forget it. It's just like, that's the thing. Like, we already know. Like, like, I already have that level of expectancy. It's not really. I'm not that excited about it because I know we're not going to get that much of him. So I'm going to probably be a lot more excited about the fact that Chris Sabat does his voice when Watts becomes more prominent of a character. Okay, so we have 527 people in here. We dedicated the first 30 minutes or so to the, just like for introduction, letting people join and chatting up. Yeah, Piccolo as well. So let us discuss the episode 11, the penultimate episode of RWBY Volume 4. Still very upset about that. Not upset, but it's coming to an end, so... But I'm not as, like, damaged or broken or hurt or sad as I was with Volume 3. Like, Volume 3, I was genuinely sad that the volume was ending. Just because, like, I felt like my growth was, like, a product of RWBY, and that once Volume 4 ended, like, all of the awesome people in the comments and, you know, the growth and support and, like, in views and stuff that I was getting, I thought all of that was really gonna go away until Volume 4. So a part of me was really sad because RWBY was ending, but a part of me was also sad because I felt like everything I did for Volume 3 and all the support that I was getting was just a product of the hype of Volume 3. So I'm just very thankful that, you know, that's not the case, and that even though Volume 4 is ending, I still have a bunch of other videos in mind, and I know I still have people who are willing to check those out. So... hey, what's up, Kay? You're in the chat. How's it going? Thank you for joining. I have no idea what time it is where you live, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Fernando. I appreciate it, bud. Yeah, and I still have Red versus Blue, which... Oh, my God. Oh, so, where is it? Hold on, give me 1 second. I got this for Christmas, so now I get to watch Red vs. Blue in Blu-ray instead of just watching the episodes clipped from YouTube videos. I'm going to be rewatching up to the point where I stopped on during my reaction, so I'm going to watch seasons 1 through 3 on Blu-ray just to catch up and refamiliarize myself with things. And then I'm going to... Shout out to Jamie, by the way, for getting me that for Christmas. But I'm going to be rewatching Red vs. Blue on that, and... Hold on, I'm going to show you something else that I got. Don't worry, though. I didn't read this yet, and I'm not going to read it until at least season 13, because I think by the time this came out, season 13 was out, but I got this as well. I got the fan book, the Ultimate Fan Guide. Also, shout out to Jamie for getting this for me as well. And this is going to actually, this basically has, like, all of the inner... Like basically the full guide of Red versus Blue, like the nitty gritty to like the nth degree. But I haven't read that yet because I know there's going to be spoilers, obviously. So I'm not going to read that until I'm caught up far enough to where all that information is already revealed. And like I'm so fucking stoked for RWBY now that RWBY's done. And the reason, like again, like I said, the reason why I put RWBY on hold is because I just knew that I wasn't going to give it the attention that it deserved because something like Volume 4 was out, and I was definitely going to prioritize RWBY over RWBY. So, so yeah, I'll absolutely, I'm absolutely stoked to rewatch what I've already seen, and just to kind of get further and continue with the story and finally catch up. Hey, howdy! I don't know if you're the actual Aaron Zek, so I apologize if you are actually Aaron and I don't take your word for it. But hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm actually kind of like taken aback. I'm like, wait, I don't know if that's... But yeah, so Red versus Blue is something that's going to be coming back. For if any of you guys are just joining and you didn't realize it, March 1st is when RVB is going to be coming back. Give me 1 second, guys. So yeah, yeah, the stram essentially is what I call it. I don't call it the stream, I call it the stram. But let's see. I don't have a video to upload, but it keeps getting blocked. Really? That's unfortunate. Nice shirt, thank you. This is my. I love how relevant this is. This is my Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep shirt. It has Terra, Aqua, Ven, and Mickey on it. And this is super relevant because Kingdom Hearts 0.2 just came out. The Birth by Sleep Fragmentary Passage portion of the gameplay continues Aqua's story. So I just felt like wearing this as you know, just to be like, hey, this is relevant. Watching reaction videos. Yeah, they're great. I've been watching like a ton of them actually from like Storytime Family. I honestly, Volume 4 has been the one where I'm losing track of who does reactions because I don't subscribe to every single person, but I keep a mental note of, okay, I watched this person last week, let me follow up with their video this week. Otherwise, I would be subscribed to hundreds of people who do. There's this one girl, I think her name is Pseudo Poise, I think that's her name. Recently just started watching her reaction. She just started RWBY earlier this week, so she's watching Volume 1, so I'm like going through the season all over again. Oh, wow. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. My phone is actually off right now, so I can't tell if anyone's tweeting at me or not. Oh, Blind Wave. Oh my fucking god, dude! They just watched Season 3, the finale. They put up their video today. I was so fucking sad for Calvin, dude. I was so heartbroken for him. Oh my god, really? Alright, well, first off, let me apologize then, just because I don't know, I wasn't convinced, like, oh yeah, this is definitely Aaron of all people on my stream, but thank you so much. First off, let me say, I fucking love your performance as Blake this volume. I love mainly the fact that, like, we haven't seen, like, the severe, like, emotional side of her, and you were definitely able to bring that out very well this volume. I'm definitely, yeah, the chat's exploding right now, and I feel like an idiot now just because she was actually in the chat, and now I'm acknowledging the fact, holy shit, it actually is you. But I absolutely love your videos that you used to do on YouTube, and I love your performance as Blake. So I ramble a lot. You probably can already tell based on how long you've been in here, but I do these every Saturday, or usually every Sunday. This one's delayed, but I appreciate it very much. I missed you at RTX. I really wanted to be able to meet you and Carrie. You two were the only ones that I wasn't able to meet, but I did see you at the panel, which was great. And I hope you enjoy the stream for however long you plan on being in here, just because I tend to go off on tangents from time to time. But thank you very much for checking out the stream, and everyone is going nuts in the chat because you're here. But yeah, thank you very much for the support, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. I will absolutely meet you this year at RTX 2017. I'm still planning my arrangements for going, so, but I have my RTX badge, so no matter what, I am going. I just have to manage getting there and finding a place to stay. So, yeah. Well, Michael, you tell people to calm down, but, like, one of the cast of RWBY is in the chat, so it's very hard. I'm pretty sure some people are just gonna lose their shit. But yeah, so how long have I spent? Okay, I've spent 40 minutes just talking, so we're gonna get into the episode. Very exciting, very excited. So the opening scene, the first thing I thought of was Avatar: The Last Airbender, just because, like, the scorched fire, like, opening, and just her stance. Like, she's using fire, so, and like you see like the fire effects at the beginning, so felt very, very Firebender Avatar-esque to me. Haven't seen Cinder since episode 3, I want to say. So she's been going through treatment with Salem. We don't know what that treatment entails, essentially. We just know that it seems like she's trying to manage a way of controlling whatever powers that she has, be it the Fall Maiden's powers. And the biggest thing for me that I was wondering while watching like this intro part of her fighting all the Grimm was like, she prioritizes fire. Like, we saw Amber use fire, wind, lightning, I'm pretty sure she used something else in there, ice. She used ice to freeze those leaves. So she had like power of like all the elements, but Cinder prioritizes just fire. I don't know if that's because that's all she's capable of using, or if that's what she just prefers. Maybe that's more along the lines of her nature, like she just destroys shit and that's what fire does. So that's like the only thing that I always wonder, like, why, like in her fight with Pyrrha, she was only using fire. It's like, you have all these other, like, granted, I don't want her to use those powers against, you know, our main characters, but like, she has all of this extra power, but maybe it's like unlocking, you know what I mean? Like, so as like basically she's just fighting off these fucking Grimm, which I think this place where she is pretty interesting. Like, we're seeing a different area of Salem's domain, essentially. I don't know if it's like a castle or what the fuck it is, but we're seeing beyond like the table area, and like she's in this kind of, I don't know, this hall fighting off Grimm. So the Beowulfs have essentially become like her experience, essentially, or like her mobs that she fights to get stronger. Yeah, she has to level up. Yeah, basically. So like the Beowulfs are basically her level up, her experience, essentially, to level up. And I really like this little thing that she has. So I like her outfit overall. I like how I don't know, it just works better for her physique instead of just having that random dress that she was wearing in the first 3 volumes. But this one is like robe-esque. I think that's why it also felt Avatar-esque. And like, I don't know why, but I really like the little detail of that feather on the side. Like, just the blue and purple kind of comes out of nowhere and changes the design of the dress. But I think it's, I just liked it. It was a nice touch. So that's the only reason why I decided, yeah, they're cannon fodder, essentially. But yeah, Cinder's grinding right now. She's level grinding. But that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking, because she didn't get the powers naturally, like she didn't get it the average way, maybe those other abilities are locked away. You know what I mean? And we like we continue to see it. Like, she fights off these fucking Grimm, just bodies them, just fucking bodies the Grimm in half. And hold on, give me 1 second. Let me clip the rest of these images away, just so I can be aware of myself. So, like, she has fire down packed. I think that's definitive, especially how she was using it against Pyrrha. Now, I don't know. It reminds me of her old feather. Did she have another feather? I'm not entirely sure. I don't really remember. But, like, oh, so the big thing, too, is, like, a fucking, I completely forgot his name, just a Berengal. The first, like, canon Berengal that we've seen in, like, the episode since the Volume 4 character short. I am so happy that we got to see this, because I thought the Berengals were very, like, very exclusive. Like, we have the Berengal, we have the dragon, we have the sea dragon, we have the seer, that we've only seen one of so far, and now we have this fucking Nuckelavee Grimm. And these are all very exclusive. Like, we don't see like bands of those Grimm or packs of those Grimm together, and they seem incredibly powerful. So, like, we see Beowulfs by the dozen. We see Ursa. We see Borbotus. Well, we don't really see that many Borbotus, but I'm pretty sure those are very common as well. The creeps are very common. So I'm not sure if it's either a product of being further from civilization, or if it's just a product of what Salem is willing to create, or how much she's willing to create. Because I was talking to a friend about this, and I was like, well, if Salem can create all of these super powerful Grimm, why doesn't she just create a million Dragon Grimm? Or why doesn't she just create a bunch of these Berengals? Because RWBY had trouble fighting this one off by herself, so I'm pretty sure this Grimm is a lot more capable in a fight versus Beowulf's. I don't know if it's just maybe it strains her, maybe it just takes more time to create like these higher echelon Grimm. And I was just wondering, like, I'm just wondering, like, well, what's the point of creating these fodder Grimm when you have Grimm that actually are a threat? I don't know if any of you guys wanna chime in on that. The Geist as well, yeah, the Geist Grimm from the first episode, that's another big one. And yeah, she basically fucking one-hitter quitters it, like just one-shots it through the chest, which was pretty fucking sick. But the fact of the matter is, I don't really take that super seriously, like, holy shit, she's one-shotting a Berengal, because this Berengal, it doesn't look like the one that RWBY fought. First off, it's in Salem's domain, it's not out in the wild. And if you compare the two Beowulfs, if you compare the two Berengals, the one that RWBY fought had an eye missing. It had, like, charred skin on one side of its body, like, you can see, like, its insides, like, it had burned skin. And it had a lot more scrapes on its chest, which means it was a lot more combat experienced. It was a lot more intellectual in terms of fighting. This Grimm has both of its eyes. It has no scarring, or, like, aside from its chest plate. And it doesn't have, like burned skin or anything. So this is more inexperienced Grimm than the one that RWBY fought. So Cinder was just like, and it just jumps right at her. It doesn't strategize. It doesn't plan with the other Beowulfs. So it just got bodied. It just got one shot. And, yeah, Alpha Berengal, essentially, was the one that RWBY ended up fighting. So it didn't have any time to adapt, and I'm pretty sure this was just another fodder Grimm for Cinder. What was scary was that she did one-shot it, despite it not necessarily putting up much of a fight. I think that's the scariest thing. Just because, like, the Maiden's powers not only combat other people who try to hunt them, but it combats the Grimm as well, like, especially what Cinder was able to do. And, I don't know, I just thought that was very interesting to kind of have that comparison, because this is the only other Berengal we saw, and the other one we saw was a lot more experienced compared to this one. Hey, what's up, Brian? Cinder has Maiden powers, so, yeah, essentially. But, I wonder if she would still... Well, now she has the full powers, because I was going to say, before she got the powers from Amber, she still had firepower to some extent, but I doubt it would have been... Well, no, I think it would have still... Like, you have to still compare it, because she had the Maiden's powers in the first episode of the volume when she fought Galinda, and she was fighting against another huntress with a portion of the Maiden's powers and was putting up a fight. Versus now, where she has the full Maiden's powers, and I'm pretty sure she can body anybody. So, in terms of just the power of scaling, I'm wondering how stronger she'll get by, like, the end of her treatment or the end of her training. Cinder should not be a good guy. Maybe an anti-hero who helps others, who helps them once. I don't think... This is tough. It's tough because, up until now, I've always thought of Cinder as, like, not necessarily being someone who's redeemable, but is someone who wouldn't go back on their path, you know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, I honestly see Emerald and Mercury having a better chance of getting out of there, because they're not really, like, a major asset for Salem. They're Cinder's lackeys, not Salem. Cinder is Salem's lackey. Now that she has the Maiden powers, like, I feel like she can't leave even if she wants to. Not to mention, you fucking killed a 17-year-old student at a school to complete your goal or your task. So at that point, it's like, I don't even think it's justifiable what you're doing, because you're killing kids. You know what I mean? You're killing citizens, you're killing students for some plan that we don't even know about. And just regardless of the fact if she feels bad about it or not, you can feel bad about it or not, but, you know, like, you have to own up to it. So I know, like, she looks redeemable, like, she's like, holy shit, like, this is what I signed up for, or, like, her expression with Tyrian, or Salem, who's kind of being hard on her. But I don't know, I feel very conflicted, because pre-Volume 3, she seemed very cold-hearted. She killed Amber without no remorse, she killed Pyrrha without any remorse, she set off all of those Grimm and kind of orchestrated this whole plan. So essentially, her plan is what got everybody killed, like, slaughtered people and whatnot. She got the White Fang involved. Her actions, essentially, by proxy, got Yang hurt and everything, and brought Blake's past to her. So it can't be that easy. There would have to be something drastic, something, like, revolutionary for me to kind of see any redeeming qualities in Cinder. Emerald and Mercury are definitely redeemable, because at the end of the day, they're going along with this through, like, I think they're on a guilt trip. Like, Cinder saved us, so we owe her our lives, so we're gonna do whatever she wants. I see more redemption for them, mainly Emerald, based on how she felt about, like, the chaos and everything happening in Volume 3. So, that's just how I feel about it, at least right now. So, this scene right here is where I kind of want to get into the focal point of like the discussion for at least this portion before Tyrian. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on Cinder and Salem's relationship during or after this episode? So based on the second screen, the bottom one, it seems like Salem is a very strict and disciplinary, quote unquote, mentor. Based on, like, Cinder seems like she's giving it her all, not to mention she's been damaged through her fight with, not her fight, but the aftermath of Ruby's eyes. I don't know if that's a product of her maiden powers, if that's a product of how she got the powers, if somehow the maiden powers are rejecting her based on how she got them, but she seems to be, like, very exhausted with everything, and Salem is just pushing her. She's like, I thought you wanted power. She's like, stop holding back. And it doesn't seem like she's holding back. It seems like she's overexerting herself at this point. And she seems to be getting annoyed by it. Like, oh my fucking god, just let me do my thing. So, I really think that the dynamic between these two is going to get more and more strenuous for Cinder. Just because I feel like she doesn't even know what she's getting into. And what was super funny about it, well, not funny, but ironic, was in Volume 3... one of the last lines that Cinder said to Pyrrha before she killed her was, take comfort in knowing that I will use... She said, take comfort in knowing that I will use it in ways you could have never have imagined, which she was referring to the maiden powers. And it's like, I love how she was so cocky and quick-witted to say that then. Granted, she wasn't expecting the aftermath of what was going to happen to her, but now she seems to be severely struggling with the powers, which I'm wondering if this would have been the case all along, like, despite her getting the powers then, if she was still going to struggle the same way she is now. Let me just do my thing. Real thoughts by Cinder. Salem does come off as a fairy godmother, like a godmother, because I think that's the point, you know what I mean? Like, Cinder is based off of Cinderella. Cinderella had a fairy godmother who kind of gave her advice and guidance, and I think, essentially, while Salem is a reference, her name is a reference to the Salem witch trials, and the Wicked Witch, you know, with the whole Wizard of Oz reference, I think another reference to her is also being the godmother or the guidance of Cinder. She's the one who gave her all of the information. She essentially is the one who let Cinder know about the maiden powers and how to obtain them, and now she's helping her learn how to control the powers for herself. Salem comes off as a bitch. Well, I mean, it's like she wants something done, and she wants it done to a certain extent, and when you don't deliver, it's like, yo, you need to step up. Like, I expect you to step up to the point where you can help me out, you know? And Salem is the key to their victory, so she kind of has to be that way on her. That'd be kind of interesting. Someone just said that Pyrrha's messing with Cinder after the fact, which I highly doubt that, but that'd be super interesting if some way, like, Pyrrha's like, do you believe in destiny? Yes, and that's the last thing she says, which seems super ambiguous, like, to the point where it has to be, I don't know. I don't think Pyrrha's alive or is coming back or anything like that, but I wonder if that has anything to do with it, because Pyrrha did have some sort of contact with Amber's aura before Amber died, so that'd be super interesting as well. Liz the Gamer, what did you miss? I'm just getting into the initial portion of the episode. We've only been discussing this for about 20 minutes or so. I'm just talking about the first intro of Cinder, her new powers, her training and whatnot. But the big thing for me is, like, Salem mentioned, she was like, stop holding back. If you are to master your new abilities, you're going to have to try a lot harder. And I wonder if that's the case. I wonder if like, okay, she got the powers, but she got them in an irregular way, so maybe that's why she only uses 5. Maybe that's all she has right now. And as she trains and as she becomes more adapted to it, like the techniques and you know, understanding how the power works, then she'll unlock lightning, wind, fire, ice, and all these other abilities that we saw Amber use. And on top of that, Amber was inexperienced. Crow mentioned she was young and inexperienced, that's why she got killed. Or that's why she got attacked. Cinder seems to be very combat experienced in all of the things that we've seen of her, so she seems more capable of kind of getting all of those powers if someone as inexperienced as Amber was able to. So, she's the Avatar. Well, essentially, I think that's, at that point, that's what this is too. Let's see. No, I don't think Amber would be the one messing with the power, because it's just a matter of how the power goes. Like, when you die, your power transfers. I don't think she really has that control over it. Pyrrha was a third party. Pyrrha was introduced by it through other means, so that's the only reason why I kind of think that's a cool idea. Let's see. Oscar, the Last Airbender. I really miss Oscar, to be completely honest. We saw him very briefly in the last episode, but I just wish that we got more of him this volume, you know. I can understand, Josh, if you're in here, where you talk about the pacing. Yeah, Amber definitely served her purpose of a maiden the best way she could, essentially, even though she was defenseless. But in terms of, like, the pacing, I really wish we weren't given, like, the breadcrumbs of Ozpin and Oscar, because that, like, Ozpin is still, he's still as mysterious as ever. We don't know as much about him as ever, and it's like we get him back in a different form, and we still have to wait. So I can't wait for that day to pay off where we just get a fuck ton of information, like a lore dump of, like, Ozpin's history, or Ozpin, like, as an entity, who he is, what he is, who he's tied to, how long has he been around, and how, like, where this war stemmed from him in Salem. I can't fucking wait till we get that. I really can't. Oh, Josh is in here? Okay. Nice. But breadcrumbs lead to something. Yeah, if you're playing... Not if you're playing Fable 3, because that fucking game's breadcrumbs, like, lead you to nowhere. But yeah, so I'm just wondering if this whole training thing is something that is inevitable, like she has to train and figure out to use this power in order for it to get better, or if it's just a matter of she's weak, her body's in a weakened state, and it's just hard for her to get to where she needs to be. Also, just to mention, some people mentioned in episode 1 that Cinder didn't move, I think the left side of her body. Like, she moved her right arm and everything, but her left side, like, her arm was covered, and she didn't move it at all, so people were under the impression that maybe, like, something had happened, like, maybe her body, like, a portion of her body got frozen, like the dragon did, because she was caught in the Silver-Eyed Blast. But she ends up using it in this fight. She uses it to, like, back wave the freaking, the Grim, the Beowulfs with her fire attack. So, but it seems like she's in a lot of pain. And I think that's the big thing here, is, like, her body hasn't healed yet. So I don't know if this was the treatment she was talking about, because this seems like she's training, not being treated. But yeah. Let's see. A Grim arm, that would be sick. That would be so fucking dope. I was honestly under the suspicion that maybe Salem was going to turn Cinder into, like, what she is, because she seems like a human Grim hybrid. I don't know which came first, if she was a Grim first, then a human, or if she was a human turned Grim, or if she's, like, a descendant of the God of Darkness. But, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Oh, no, I wonder if you realize it's me. I know you read a few of my comments already. Yeah, I see you in the chat. My boy Brandon. So, that was so this initial part is just, like, a good way of kind of gauging how things have been going in the back end of things with Cinder and Salem, her treatment, her progression. I guess she wants I guess she's trying to train Cinder to be ready by the fall of before like the invasion on Mistral, because if you have a maiden on your side, you're definitively granted, like, you're gonna, like, Mistral's gonna fall or Haven's gonna fall if you have a maiden backing you, on top of the Grim, on top of the White Fang, on top of whatever else they have up their sleeve, on top of like Faunus and whatnot. So, again, Volume 4 was definitely like a setup volume of things to come, and I think this is like one of them. I'm pretty sure by Volume 5, Cinder will be a lot more well-versed in her abilities. Maybe she'll not look like she's agonizing. You know, she's in an agonizing state while she's training, and things will come to for her. What kind of semblance do you think Salem has? I don't even think Salem is like a person. I think she's like on a plane of higher existence than anybody else. She looks like a Grim, so does that mean she doesn't have a soul? Because Grim don't have souls, which would mean she doesn't have an aura, which means she couldn't produce a semblance. But she can create Grim, or she necessarily doesn't create Grim, but the Grim kind of like obey her. So in a way, I don't know. I don't have enough information. We don't have enough information to really definitively say. Yeah, but this was definitely the volume of exposition and lore for sure. Oh, and now we talk about this fucking dude. This fucking ball of emotions right here. My boy Tyrian. I was not expecting that. Let me just say that right off the bat. So he was incredibly scared of Salem based on the fact that he came back empty-handed, which I will say was very funny because him and Watts were kind of giving Cinder shit for like put it into this perspective, okay? Cinder went to Beacon, she recruited the White Fang, she recruited Torchwick, Emerald, Mercury, she became the Maiden, she destroyed Beacon Tower, and she killed Ozpin. All of that. She gets defeated by a silver-eyed, like a silver-eyed noob, essentially, and like everyone's giving her shit. Tyrian decides, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring her back, whatever. He goes, he gets, like, he would have brought her back if it wasn't for Crow, and then he comes back empty-handed because RWBY cut off his tail. I'm surprised Cinder didn't say anything, but at that point I would have just kept my mouth shut like she did, because Tyrian is just like a fucking, like a basket case of like he's just so unstable, like emotionally unstable, and he puts I think the biggest reason for this was because he puts Salem on such a high pedestal. Like, he puts her on like this god tier pedestal. He refers to her as goddess, my lady, her grace. Like, he just sees her as like an idolizing god. And like, she's perfect, and his life, his body, his soul is for her, no matter what she wants. And he's basically all about pleasing her. So he goes back, and like, he's like crying on the way in, and he's trying to convince himself like, she'll forgive you, don't worry about it. And like, that was like the like, I love Tyrian, but that was like really hard for me. I was like, oh my god, like, he is so fucking brittle, like super brittle as a character. Like, he goes from like super crazy, bloodlusty, and like focused, determined, to like this because of what his idol thinks of him. And he thinks I think he thinks very lowly of himself, to the point where he lets his emotions run awry when she says, you're a disappointment to me, you know? And I think that's going to come back to bite him as a character, because essentially his demeanor and his well-being as a character like hinges on the fact of if he's doing right by Salem. Salemism. Yo, fucking Kiba, holy shit, dude, I have not talked to you in so fucking long. How have you been? Oh my god, dude, I was on your channel just the other day. Yo, oh my god, man, how have you been? Yeah, I'm sorry everybody else, like, Kiba's like a super awesome dude, a really good friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in so long. How have you liked Volume 4 so far, dude? Well, so far, it's ending this weekend. College is a killer. Oh man, I can only imagine. Yeah, I honestly feel like, yeah, I honestly think disappointment treatment was the way for him to go versus like I thought she was gonna like fuck him up or something, or she was gonna sick her grim on him like you're no use to me if you can't do a simple task. Dude, it's been crazy and we definitely got to catch up soon. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I will definitely hit you up either on Skype or elsewhere, but I'll definitely get back to you on that because we definitely have to catch up. I haven't talked to you since RTX, since I got back from RTX. Church of Salemtology. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like he's oh yeah, dude, he's an emotional time bomb. That's like the red versus blue shirt, right? But yeah, he's just like ridiculously like off his rocker. And it's good. Like I like it for one way, but I think like it's a double-edged sword for him because like his emotions running awry is what makes him so fascinating and like intoxicating of a character for me personally. Like I love characters like that. I love characters who are on the edge but are still in control. That's how he was with like the Tyrian fight. Like he's just laughing maniacally throughout the whole fight with Crow, and I fucking love that. You know what I mean? That just shows like how excited he is to be like the thrill of the hunt essentially, or the thrill of killing or being in a fight. And I love that about him, and I love his like his demeanor. I love his like his insanity almost. And I never stopped to think, well, just think of how emotionally reserved he is, or how that'll backfire if he goes back to Salem empty-handed. And I never thought of that. I never thought like, wow, like this is all it takes for him to break down. Was Tyrian raised by Salem? I don't know. We don't know Tyrion's backstory, but like for him to think so highly of her and for her to kind of foster him into her plans, and kind of and like she mentioned too, I think a bigger reason why he feels so defeated is because when she was like, "Hey, you're gonna go after the girl who did this to Cinder," I think she said something along the lines of like I leave this to you, like it's up to you, like you have to do this, like no one else can do it. You know, Watts is going off and doing something, Hazel's going off and doing something, Cinder is injured, so you're the only other person who can do it. And that it's apparent because she mentions, she was like, "Did you finish your task?" He was like, "No, I didn't." And she just walks away, and he pulls the biggest fucking damage control I've ever seen in my life. Like he's still trying to make right, like, you know, to do right by her. He's like, you know, I poisoned Crow. You don't have to worry about him anymore. You know, he won't be like eavesdropping or spying on our plans or anything. And she said something that like came full circle back to Tyrian and Cinder, who's actually here. She says, "The last eye has been blinded." That was a reference to the first episode because Cinder lost her eye to RWBY somehow, and Tyrian says, "An eye for an eye." So he was supposed to be the other eye that was supposed to go and, you know, finish what was supposed to be done, and or you know, complete the assignment, and he comes back defeated with his tail cut off. So metaphorically, the second eye has been blinded. It means like we're blinded now. Like we can't do anything about this. Like we can't do anything about this girl now because Cinder's blinded physically, and you're blinded like emotionally. Like you both have just fucked up. So I really liked that reference there, callback, if you will. Because of how cocky Watts is, it makes him even more strong. It makes me think he's even more stronger than Cinder. I think he's the brains of the operation, honestly. I think, like, if you were to put everyone in a category, Hazel would be the bronze, Watts would be the brains, fucking Tyrian would just be the animal. Tyrian would be, like, the fucking beast of the group, like, just the fucking crazy dude. And then Cinder is like the key. Like Cinder is like the core aspect of the team in terms of the granular plans that they have for Salem. Team Witch clap back. Yeah, the wild card essentially. Yeah, essentially. He's a doctor, right? Yeah, he's a doctor. He's got that PhD. His mustache is the powerhouse of the cell. I'll check Twitter after the live stream. I know someone mentioned that they tweeted something to me, but I do the live stream, so I typically tend to not... I try not to be on my phone. So, I'll definitely check that out after the stream. Hey Arnold, what did I miss? Mainly, like, the first portion. Like, I'm getting into, like, the whole Tyrian meltdown moment, which was pretty crazy to, like, to go through and witness how, like, his fall from grace, because in a way I kind of put Tyrian on a pedestal. I put him on this pedestal of like holy shit, fucking Tyrian is like super awesome, he's super intriguing, I'm so fascinated by his craziness and like his fighting style and everything like that, and then he kind of falls and I'm like, holy shit, this guy is brittle as fuck. Did you see the Dishwasher's new fan art prediction? Not for the next episode, no. I did see the one with the Nuckelavee, Grimm, and like Ren and Nora, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, almost Joker crazy. I don't even know, because I don't really follow like Batman or the Joker, so I don't know if the Joker is like as... Like, the Joker is definitely, like crazy, but Tyrion is, like, unlike any other character on that kind of frequency that I've ever seen. Like, just fucking crazy. He just goes from sad to happy, like, in an instant. Yeah, he went to Zagi, yes! That's who it is. I mentioned that, too, like, when the volume first started, I was like... He reminds me of Zagi from Tales of Vesperia, because Zagi is probably like the only other guy who's crazy about killing and crazy about fighting on the level of Tyrion. But Zagi never faltered. Like, he kind of went out the same way that he was always constant as a character. He was always taking it to the next level, but he never regressed like this. Bipolar as fuck. More like unstable, honestly. To be completely honest, I would definitely say unstable more than anything. But, I honestly thought, I was so pissed right here. I was so upset at this moment. I was like, there is no fucking way that Rooster Teeth is gonna kill my boy Tyrion like this. Like this. Like, you fucking can't do that. Like, you can't do this. I was like, oh my god. He's crying, he's in distress, this Beowulf is, like, sensing that and is honing in and is gonna attack him. And I was so fucking happy when he did. I felt really bad for the Beowulf. Like, honestly, if any of you guys ever seen those videos, it's like, at this point, so-and-so knew they fucked up. I kind of want to make a video like... I'm going to make a video like that. I'm going to try to see how I can work into it with the same voice and everything, but I feel like at this point, it's like, you fucked up because Tyrion's going to fuck you up now. That's literally what I thought. I was like, yo, this Grimm picked the wrong fucking dude. And I understand he looked like he was easy pickings, but it's like, he's literally... Like, he's immeasurable. Like, his emotions are immeasurable. Like, he just fucking 0 to 100 immediately. So. Oh, K. If you are watching the stream, do not make a play of the game with Tyrion. I have an idea for Tyrion's play of the game that I want. That's what I'm going to talk to you about. So hold off on a POTG for Tyrion. It's going to be fucking glorious. It's going to be magnificent, and I want you to see it. So it is on Tyrion, but I want you to hold off until I pitch my idea to you. But yeah, so I was genuinely like, I really hope they're not about to kill him, and they like switch the script. I'm gonna disappear for a second really quick, just because, like, this is Tyrion, dude. Like, this is fucking Tyrion in his, like, in like, full essence, like, his full glory. Like, a second ago, he was just out, like, he seemed like he was out of commission, like, I'm done, and the switch of a hat, he goes from sad to pissed off to, like, I'm so happy I'm killing you right now. And at that point, I think that's why Cinder had this face on her, because it's like, what the fuck kind of person does this? Like, Tyrion's obviously unlike any character in the show, to the where he goes from hot to cold with a drop of a hat. And the laughing just adds to that. Like, he goes from wailing to crying to like laughing maniacally like a fucking maniac as he's just hacking into this already dead Grimm. And it's just like, holy shit, dude. Like, I really don't know how much more they can make me love Tyrion as a character. If he gets a backstory and it's something like crazy tragic or crazy like experimental or something that just robbed him of any type of like sense, like he doesn't even have like like I feel like he lacks like any form of humanity in him, because he's just like a fucking animal. So I think Cinder just realizes at this point, like, I better stay on his good side, because at this point, like, imagine the Grimm wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, he needs some, well, I think he retaliated because the Grimm was about to attack him, but, like, at that point, it's like, I feel like anybody could have been a target for him. Granted, Salem wouldn't have let that happen, but, like, I think it's just like, holy fuck, this guy, like, he's, like, at any point, like, anyone could be his enemy. At least I think so. So yeah. Brian, you're gonna head out. Well, thanks for stopping by, dude. I appreciate it. Aaron, thank you as well for stopping by. I don't know if she was here still or if she already left, but super fucking appreciated for all of you guys to check out the stream and hang out. But yeah, I'm hoping we get more out of Tyrion. I hope that... I'm gonna take that picture off, because that picture is just really fucking creepy to just be there. His fucking tongue sticking out and shit. But yeah, this Grimm had, like, dude, you could have just survived, you could have had a family, you know what I mean? Like, you just picked the wrong fucking dude to mess with. Denmaster115, how's it going? Thank you for joining. Shout out to Joshua, of course. Oh, man, one more Tyrion episode. So, like, at this point, now that we see, like, this is who Tyrion is, I wonder if he's going to be reacting any differently for, like, the rest of the episodes until Salem needs him again or something, because, like, at this point, like, his disappointment is kind of, like, weighing on him. Maybe he's going to want to try to find a way to redeem himself or something. So, he avoided weak points to make the Grimm last. Yeah, essentially. I was gonna say that too. I was like, the Grimm didn't disappear. So he's just like, just hacking into him like Jesus Christ, dude. Do Grimm have families? I don't fucking know. I just thought that was funny to say. The Grimm only had 2 days from retirement. Well, I mean, he jumped back into the fray almost immediately. So, I honestly did feel, I was like Cinder, that probably could have been you if you just like, like, you know what I mean? Like, granted, she's a maiden, but I feel like she's not honing on the powers yet, so I think Tyrion would have been trouble for her if like, he just decided to react, like, just lash out. Shout out to RWBY. Yeah, you already know, dude. 650 people. Thank you guys all for sticking around and hanging out. Much appreciated, guys. And, severance package. The Grimm is like, I don't become a villain for this. I didn't become a villain for this. I would have been like, dude, we're on the same fucking team. Oh, Kiba, that is not a centaur Grimm. I thought it was. I thought it was like a centaur minotaur. Well, it could be a centaur, but a lot of people look up Nuckelavee. Nuckelavee, sorry. Nuckelavee. I think that's how you spell it. That is what a lot of people are thinking the Grimm is. Is a Nuckelavee Grimm. It's super hard for me to try to say it. I didn't even know a creature like that existed in mythology until this episode, or until people started bringing it up. So, that's what a lot of people think the Grimm actually is, and I'm kind of more inclined to agree, honestly. When friendly fire isn't a thing. Yeah, brace yourself, Kiba. It's pretty fucking gruesome. But yeah, so the end of that scene is great, and I really like, and then we like transition. So this is the second episode that we get all members of Team RWBY. We get Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, and a bit of the villains too, which was pretty great. I liked this scene. I only screen capped this because I was like, I just like how it's an addition to their home. Patch looks like it really is a good place to raise a family, like a freaking cabin house. You had like a nice open front yard, kind of where like they were training. The inside of their house looks pretty neat too, and then the back, like they just have a lot of room, and I just really like the scenery. I just like the environment of the outside when it's not like raining or like thundering or anything like that. I think Patch is just like a really good setting. So I just wanted to shout out this first part just because I liked it so much. But we're getting into my girl right here and her fucking new gear. I love how she designed it after like her old weapons, like the blue. What am I saying? The black and yellow. Really like how she kind of brought that into herself, and this is kind of like a foreshadowing of what we already know what she looks like from the Volume 4 concept reveal. It seems like she's going to be rocking like the duster coat, and she has like the stub cap on her arm, so that follows suit with what we saw in the concept art at the beginning of the volume. All we need now is for her to change her attire, and she's gonna be like, and like obviously let her hair down, and she's just gonna look so fucking fierce. She's gonna look so fucking boss. I cannot fucking wait to see what she looks like. I wonder if we're going to get it next episode. Like by next episode, by the end of it, depending on how long it is, after the fight with the Grimm, are we going to see where Blake's destination leads her? Are we going to see where Weiss's destination leads her? Are we going to see where Yang is going? You know, is she going to go back to Vale? Is she going to go after her mom? Is she going to go after Ruby? Is she going to kind of recollect herself and find her old friends to try to help her out or something? Very excited about it, but I love this part right here. So she has, like, obviously her metal arm, and then she, like, repainted over one of the Ember Silicas, obviously the left one, because she doesn't have her right arm anymore. And I love how that's going to work, because now she's not just going to be gung-ho. You know what I mean? She's obviously just going to have to choose the right moments to shoot, and choose the right moments to, you know, use her fist and, you know, do melee combat. So, again, it all goes back to her conversation and kind of like the therapy that her dad, that Tai Yang was doing for her, which was like, you have to stop, you have to think, you have to keep your emotions in check, and you have to not be boneheaded, not be reckless, and not, you know, act first, shoot first, and then ask questions later, because it's going to get you in trouble. It's going to get you hurt, it can get you killed. And obviously, oh, you saw the yeah, that thing is fucked, dude. That thing is so fucking sick. Yeah, and then on top of that, it looks like what we've seen in the episode, so just to see its full design, obviously a horse with that thing on its fucking, like, merged with it it's gonna be so fucking dope. I can't wait, dude. I can't fucking wait. And yeah, like, I let me ask you guys something. Let me ask you guys something really quick. Let me switch to the next scene here. Oh, actually, before I ask you guys something, Bumblebee! Yo, we got, obviously Bumblebee, the bike. The bike's name is Bumblebee, for any of you guys who don't know. I'm not repping, like, the Bumblebee ship BY. I'm representing BEE. So, so yeah, oh my god, dude. Like, she's gonna be so sick. Like, she's gonna have her new design on her bike, fucking traveling the road while everybody else is, like, walking, which it fucking sucks for them. But, she's actually on her fucking bike, which is super cool. Yeah, we haven't seen this, I think, since Volume 2, when her and, I'm surprised they let her take her bike to school on top of that, if you think about it. Like, she couldn't have gone home, got her bike, came back, and then went to go see Junior with Neptune, so I think that's interesting that she was able to get her bike back. If, in fact, she did bring it to school. Please don't ask us things. The chat explodes when you do that. Oh, no can do, bud. It's a question of, like, curiosity that I'm wondering. It has to do with, like, the volume as a whole. It's a rental. Yeah, Junior, like Junior, like the guy at the nightclub. Like that's where Neptune and Yang went in Volume 2 to get information on like trying to find out anything about Torchwick or the White Fang. I think that's the last time we saw the bike. The first time we saw obviously was in the trailer where she went to Junior's bar. So, chat explosion scares me. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I like it. I don't. It looks a lot better, obviously, because it's in the new art style, and it just looks super fucking sleek and so badass. And it complements her so well because that's her color scheme, which is great. I wonder if there will ever be a point where Blake and Yang will be riding on, like, because that'll be like Bumblebee Inception right there. That's like Bumblebee and Bumblebee riding Bumblebee. And now Bumblebee sounds like a weird word because I've said it so many times. But that'd be fun. Like that would send the shippers, like that would fucking kill the shippers, dude. Like that'd be so sick to see, honestly. They should do that in Chibi, actually. If they don't do it in RWBY proper, they absolutely have to do like a Bumblebee on Bumblebee ship. Not a ship, but a Bumblebee on Bumblebee skit in RWBY Chibi Season 2. The fandom would go comatose. Pretty much, dude. Bumblebike is even better ship name. Oh, man. Yo, if they come up with that, I'm calling it. I'm taking credit for that. That'd be such a fucking funny episode. Immediately, people would get it. But so I kind of wanted to ask you guys. Yeah, and I'm sorry, Michael, but it has to be done. Regarding this conversation here with Tai and Yang, which I think I'm gonna say Yang and Tai instead of Tai and Yang, because Tai Yang is literally his name. Half of his name is his name and his daughter's name, which causes confusion. So between Yang and Tai, like he's talking about like where is she going, that obviously he knows that Kroll told her where her mom is from Volume 3, and from the note that Ruby left, she knows that her sister's going to Mistral, and that she's obviously going somewhere, she's leaving home, and it's either going to be to Raven or to Ruby. So where do you guys think she's going? Like, do you think she's going to go after her sister, or is she going to go looking for her mom? Which I think it would either... I think both of them would lead to either or, because Raven seems to be nearby based on the fact that she talked to Crow a couple episodes back. She's going to Ruby. I think she's going to go to Raven, Ruby, RWBY. So, it seems like a lot of you think she's going to go to her sister. Going to see Ruby. Just going to see Ruby, like ride her bike. Hey, what's up, Rubes? And then head out. You also have to realize that this happening right now could be way before what's happening with Ranger. Because if you remember, like, all these moments aren't chronological. You know what I mean? Like, for all we know, Yang could already be on her way to Ruby. Yang could probably come across Ruby and them in the next episode. I mean, I'm just saying, it would come off very odd if people can't if people don't, if the idea is like, oh shit, that's right, that's happening at a different time than this. Because people are going to be like, wow, she got to her in one episode, like she got to her in like a second. Because people are going to think that this and what's happening with Ranger is happening at the same time. So, I wonder, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't happening at the same time. You know, because the last time, like, when they were fighting, she mentioned prior that when she put her arm on initially, from the time she put her arm on to the time we saw her and Ty training, weeks had passed. You know what I mean? So, a couple of episodes doesn't necessarily mean a couple of weeks have passed, but time isn't consistent for all these characters. So, my life is a lie. I would lose my shit if she goes for Ruby. I don't know. It could happen. You know what I mean? Because you have to you have to think. Arnold, please make it stop the chat. It's too powerful. Shotgun blast out of nowhere in the middle of the fight, dude. I'm just saying. I literally just thought of that now. Actually, I haven't been like keeping this in my head for the live stream discussion. I literally just came out. I was like, wait a minute. This isn't happening at the same time. We're getting it in the same episode, but like. Winter's already been there, but like I don't know, like it would be very I feel like it would be very out of place and off-putting for a lot of people if Yang did come out of nowhere an episode later. But, because it doesn't really give you context like that weeks have passed. You have to pick up on it. You have to pick up on when they mention weeks ago. Like, Ranger, the last time they were at Shion, they said that Shion is weeks away from where they are now. So weeks have passed. Like, probably 3-4 weeks have passed since Shion. And granted, that was episode 2, so they've made weeks of progress during that time. During those weeks, all of this could have already been happening, but we're getting it now. So yeah, I wouldn't, honestly, at this point, I would not be surprised if Yang shows up. At the same time, it's like, well, if Yang isn't there, because this just came up now, I honestly don't know how anybody's going to make it out of that fight, especially with how Ren is right now, Ren's condition. But, mind fucked. But yeah, so that was the initial question that I wanted to ask. Honestly, I don't know. I'm up in the air about it because, you know, I want her to go after RWBY, but based on her whole, this goes back to Volume 2. Her talking about Raven for the first time to about Raven and Summer to Blake, and she says, this is, her whole deal. This is her whole deal, becoming a huntress, getting more information. It's been, her lifelong goal to track her mom down. So it's I want to believe that, and then on top of that, she actually knows where to look because Crow gave her that info. So, this lifelong journey for her to finally find her mother and, confront her is right in front of her. But at the same time, she knows that her sister's out there alone. Or not alone, but her sister's out there in, the scary world. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know how dangerous of a situation her sister's in. And she could honestly be worried. So, I can see it going both ways, to be completely honest. And, unless we see Yang next episode, unless we see her next episode definitively make a choice or act on whatever choice she's going for, I don't think we'll find out what she chooses until Volume 5. Ninja Grime, you're heading out. Thank you for sticking around in the chat. I appreciate it. You have a good night. Thank you very much. Yang Ex Machina, literally. Yeah, I'm gonna miss Tai Yang as well. I'm gonna miss him because Bernie does an incredible job. Bernie is the dad of Rooster Teeth, and he's the dad of RWBY and Yang, so he's the dad of Lindsay and Barbara, essentially. So it feels very comforting, and it feels very family oriented when Bernie and Yang have dialogue, because it's Tai and Yang, but at the same time that dynamic is already there with the voice actors. So I'm going to miss Bernie's voice acting terribly until he comes back into the show. Whether he decides to hold down the fort at home, whether he chooses to take Zwei and go out and look for her too. So, and I wouldn't see why he wouldn't go out, because when Port and Uplek were out, when Port and Uplek visited, they said, are you going to go after her? Are you going to go try to bring her back? And he was like, I have to stay here and take care of things. At the time, he was talking about Yang, but now that Yang's leaving, maybe that'll give him a reason to head back to Vale and help out the teachers, or to head out and try to find his daughter if she decides to go after. Because, I mean, if she tells him, I'm going to go after my mom, that would give him enough of a reason to go after RWBY. You know what I mean? And if she decides to go after RWBY, he can go back to the city and help the teachers rebuild the city and try to, get things under control at Beacon. So, yeah, either way, I'm really going to miss Bernie. Granted, I mean, he's not going anywhere, you know what I mean? Tai is still going to be around, but I really liked the fact that we got so much of him this volume, since this was his debut, essentially. So, I was very, very happy to see that. Hey, what's up, Jay Lee Reacts? How's it going, man? Thank you very much for joining the stream, I appreciate it. I just turned my phone on, by the way. Someone wants me to check something really quick. And I really hate being on my phone, so I apologize. I hate being on my phone, when I'm eating, or when, I have things I'm, paying attention to and whatnot. So the next scene, yeah, so this is like her decision right here. Like, what is she gonna do? She's looking at Bumblebee and everything else. So, give me one moment, guys. What I'm going to do next year for Volume 5, like with the live stream discussions, I should have a way better setup by then. I'm probably going to do like kind of like how the podcast does it. I'll have like, for anyone who uses Twitter, I'll have like a specific hashtag that people will use whenever I do my live stream discussion. So I can check right here, like the chat live, and then like momentarily, like every now and then I can check like Twitter to see what people are discussing and talking about. Kind of like the RT podcast, but the difference between this and that is the RT podcast doesn't have a live feed that they respond to. So in a way, I can see why they do the retweet kind of thing, but it's always something cool that I can go back and check once the live stream's over to see what people were talking about on Twitter. Let's see. Hashtag murder message. Oh, wait. The Supersonic. Yes, I am going to be doing RVB after Volume 4 ends. More specifically, I'm going to be doing reactions for RVB. They're going to be returning March 1st. If all things go accordingly, March 1st and onward, I'll be doing RVB primarily on my channel. I'm not necessarily going to run 2 chats, but I'll have 1 chat up for anything that people specifically want to ask or something that I can pick up on Twitter once the stream is over, versus the live feed that once my streams are uploaded to my channel, we don't get any, there's no chat replay, so the live chats are kind of obsolete after the live stream's over. So I kind of just want to have something that's just always there that I can go back to just see what people were saying or see people's thoughts on the episode. You should do a post Volume 4 Q&A. I should do that, actually. Like a live stream Q&A. I think that'd be kind of cool. That's a good idea. Yo, what's up, that one guy? Thank you for joining. One moment, guys. Oh, damn it. Wait. There we go. Good luck if you do that, man. Yeah, I know, good luck. Fucking, just a million fucking questions. What are your thoughts on this? Speculations, theories, discussions. I do have a video that I will be coming out with post Volume 4, just to talk and discuss a few things, but, But yeah. So, sorry guys, but seriously, yeah, no caps, guys, just to kind of make things a little easier for the mods. But, yeah, modding can be a nightmare. Well, there's almost 700 people. There's almost 700 people in here, so, alright, Kyle, you take care. You have a good night, man. So, yeah, hopefully Blake chooses the right one, and hopefully things turn out well for her eventually. So, let me talk about this real quick. Because I didn't get triggered by this, but it was something that was like, you've got to be kidding me. Weiss is trying to leave home in the middle of the night, making sure no one sees her, no one hears her, and she chooses to wear high heels of all things in her giant fucking house, which is hollow as hell. Got these long-ass corridors that carry that sound across their entire house, and she's sneaking out in high heels. And you know that that's, like, something to mention, because they emphasize this scene right here, like, I'm wearing heels. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you don't have any other kind of shoes you can wear to leave your house. Even barefoot would have been better than this. So, it's a combat shoe. Yeah, legs for days, apparently. Stupid lady stilts. Yeah, it's just like, come on, you're just asking to be caught. And I thought this was like a setup thing. Like, I knew Klein was gonna help her, which even Klein comes through, and Klein's like, yo, keep your voice down, like, be quiet. And it's like, well, it's kind of hard to do because her high heels are just echoing throughout her entire house. So I was kind of like I was a little triggered by that. I'm just like, God damn it, Weiss. Like, I don't know if she has any other shoes that she can wear or even go barefoot. That would have been way better. I think we have seen her without her high heels. Wasn't she wearing like flat shoes during the dance in Volume 2? I'm almost certain she was. Don't knock it. It seems to work for her. Well, yeah, it worked for her this way, but it was just like damn it. Like the heels were super loud. Like, I just felt like everyone in the show could hear the heels. I'm like, you're gonna pass your dad's hallway and they're gonna hear you walking outside, or you're gonna be walking down the hall and Whitley's gonna hear it from like his room or something. So I just felt like it was like she was just setting herself up at that point. So yeah, yeah. I will say though, another thing too. Yeah, and then Whitley called too. I thought Whitley was setting her up. Honestly, I was like, this is too good. First off, I thought she would have I thought she would have made her opportunity to run when, like, she said, like, father and I are going in. Like, when Whitley mentioned that him and Jacques were going to go into the city to meet some of the businessmen, I thought that would have been the perfect opportunity to leave, because it's like, okay, well, them two aren't there. And from what we know, Klein's the only staff at this house. Like, what's his name? Jacques mentioned it. He's like, you know, you're going to stay here and the staff will make sure of it. I'm like, what staff? Like, we've only seen, well, I know we saw, like, those butlers and stuff like that at the dinner party, or the concert party, rather, but, like, at least in the manor, in the house, like, Klein's the only one that was there, and obviously he has her back, so I was just like, who else are you talking about? But I thought Whitley was setting her up, because I was like, this is too good to be true, and then Whitley calls, and it's like, shit, Whitley's getting Klein away from Weiss. What's gonna happen? And I thought Whitley was gonna show up or do something, or I thought he was gonna be onto her, or like try to get her in trouble again. No, not well, yeah, Butler's from Volume 1. Yeah, those guys too. Completely forgot about those guys until you just brought it up. Klein is the Sebastian of RWBY, like Sebastian the Crab, the fucking Cake Butler. Well, Cake Butler isn't canon yet. He's in Chibi, but we haven't seen him yet in this in RWBY proper. But like, yo, this scene, dude. I honestly thought they were gonna fucking throw down a set in fucking Jacques' office. Granted, it wouldn't have been a competition just because Ironwood, dude's like fucking half metal man, or Iron Daddy as people call him. But like, this was super tense, because it seems like Ironwood is a lot more stressed out by like his role as the general and member of the council, and just the power that he has to prevent things from happening. He said proper. Take a shot. Best Iron Daddy. But yeah, like, I understand where Ironwood's heart is. I understand he is doing, like, he's trying to do right by, you know, he's trying to do right by like, everything. Like, keeping people safe is his top priority. But he's really not going about it in the best possible way. I mean, there's only so much that you can do with an army. Like, your army is a reason why the fall of Beacon happened so swiftly, because you decided to confide in an army versus a guardian. You decided to confide in your own manner of doing things instead of trusting Ozpin and trusting his experience that he's had. And he even mentions, like, if Ozpin only listened to me from the beginning, it's like, what do you mean? Like, you were, like, Ironwood was the head of security for the Vital Tournament. So essentially, he had jurisdiction at the end of the day. And even, like, and the council was even talking about replacing Ozpin as the headmaster in Volume 2. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, Ozpin kind of did everything in his power to keep things in line and keep things calm, because that's like his golden rule, like, we must not panic. Ironwood was the one who was kind of acting out a little bit more like irrationally, and not kind of believing in Ozpin and believing in his experience and believing in the fact that what he's doing is going to pay off in time. He was the one that was reckless and rushing into things. Yeah, like, that's what Ozpin said. His heart's in the right place, but it's his heart is there, but his actions don't match his intentions, I guess, if that makes any sense. Like, he says he wants this, but he's not going about it in the most tactful way possible. He's just trying to, like, there's no build up to like, it's just do this, do that, do this, do that. Results, results, results. No build up, no planning, no strategy. And I don't think it's not really working, you know what I mean? And it didn't work in Beacon, and now for Mistral, he's kind of taking up like an even more irrational form of what he thinks is right by kind of sectioning off Atlas from the rest of the world. Like, the borders are going, oh my fucking god, dude, oh my god. With everything that's happening with, like, Donald Trump and everything, like, that's, like, the worst fucking parallel you can compare it to. But, like, he's closing his borders so no one can get in and no one can get out. And that's not how, like, clearly, in our world, that's clearly not how you want to do things, and that's clearly not how people are going to want, like, people aren't going to respond positively to something like that. So, like, yeah, no politics. I fucking hate politics. Trust me, I don't like discussing politics. So that's the only thing I'm gonna say. But he's going about it the wrong way, and he fucking cracked the table and everything, and super fucking funny for him to say that. But of all people, Jacques, like, you need to get a grip, like, you of everyone needs to have has the loosest grip of everybody, and you're gonna tell Ironwood, who has probably more on the line than you do. Like, he's like the head of the kingdom, he's the headmaster of a school, he's the leader of an army, and he's responsible for people's safety. If people start dying, no one's gonna blame you. And Jacques, at the end of the day, I think only cares about fuck. If you're putting up our borders, that means even less money for me, and he doesn't want to stand for that. So it's just I don't know. It's just very. It's conflicting at this point for Ironwood, because it's like he doesn't have Ozpin there anymore. So and Crow's not around, and Winter's not with him either. So he's acting. He's caught, like, his right hand man's not there, and his inner group isn't around. So he's just doing. This is kind of like a desperation. It's like, well, if we don't let anybody in and out, we're safe, and if we don't let anybody out, we don't have to worry about people conspiring against us. So, again, I know where his heart is. I know where his mindset is in terms of doing this, but I don't think it's going to turn out well. And Jacques, of all people, feels like he's losing a profit from it because his company isn't going to be making money again, which it's like, you have this full-scale war going on, you have people up in arms, you have the fall of Beacon, which is essentially going to happen again to Mistral, it's eventually going to come to your doorstep in Atlas, and by that point you're already going to lose, because instead of working together, you're choosing to divide yourself, not just amongst your family, but amongst your fellow fucking country, like your freaking, like your countrymen, essentially. Like, you're both from the same place, and you guys are acting so differently. So, and then we also got some context clues there, too. Like, Ironwood has a very hard time trusting people, and they mentioned Leo, which I'm assuming is the headmaster of Mistral, because Crow also mentioned that the leader of the other two academies are also part of Ozpin's inner circle. So the other two academies would be Vacuo and not Vacuo, Shade and Haven from Vacuo and Mistral. And Leo, I assume, is the headmaster, so Leo could be the reference of Leo means lion, the cowardly lion from the Wizard of Oz story, which he would be the reference to that. Like, Ozpin's the Wizard of Oz, Crow is the Scarecrow, Ironwood's the Tin Man, Leo is the cowardly lion, Ozpin is obviously the Wizard of Oz, Salem is the Wicked Witch of the West, and Galinda is the Good Witch of the East, I want to say. I think I got that mixed up. But essentially, there is a massive Wizard of Oz, like, references and motifs going on. So, the Master of... Oh my fucking god. Dude. Sitting Duck 91. Yo, the headmaster of Shade is Toto, like the dog. Like Toto. Dude. And Ruby is essentially Dorothy. Oh my god. Like Ruby, yeah, is Dorothy, because Ruby would also be a reference to the ruby slippers that she wears, which that's Ruby's name. So that's like a reference within a reference. Uh, that'd be super fucking cool. Toto would be the dog. Well, Toto is Zwei, I get that, but it'd be even cooler if Toto was like the name of the headmaster in Shade, just to wrap up the references at least for, because then it's like, well, then who's the headmaster of who's the headmaster of Shade then? Who's the headmaster of Vacuo? So I love the references, dude. I love the references so fucking much in RWBY. Like, I love nothing more than getting a new character and just instantly doing research. Like, okay, well, who is this character based off? And what does their name mean? And what's their weapon? And what's their semblance? And what story do they derive from? And, you know, like, I am literally in the trenches when it comes to RWBY. I mean, hell, I do reviews, reactions, live streams, like, I do anything and everything that I can for RWBY, so, I just love it. No, Crow is the Scarecrow. Crow's the Scarecrow. But yeah, Zwei is a reference, his name at least is a reference. Well, no. Zwei is a Cowboy Bebop reference because Een is the dog from Cowboy Bebop, which is German for the number 1. Zwei is a reference to that because Zwei means 2 in German as well, so that is a direct reference and like a spiritual successor to that dog. So that's the other thing too. Yeah, Bronze Knee is the bronze kneecap. I was, oh my god, dude, I was fucking laughing my ass off once I realized that. I was like, his name's Bronze Knee, like the bronze kneecap from Fairly Odd Parents, and it's like you'd have to be like a kid at heart to know that, like to have watched Fairly Odd Parents and to be able to bring that parallel over just by thinking it, and that's essentially what it was for me. So Ozpin's false pretense of strength through reincarnation. And that's another thing Ozpin mentioned too. He mentioned that, well, no. That was between his dialogue with, his dialogue between him and Salem in Volume 1 was, Salem mentioned there will be no victory in strength. And then he responded with, but perhaps strength can be found in the little things that you've long forgotten, things that require a gentle, more honest soul. And obviously he was referring to RWBY. So that's another thing too. That line in particular, the fact that he says things that you have long forgotten. So in a way, it kind of makes me think that Salem was on the same side, but she slowly started changing. You know what I mean? Like things that like what, like, you know what I mean? Like that would imply that Salem at one point had the same faith and the same kind of like, yeah, I guess the same kind of faith in humanity as Ozpin, but essentially she diverged onto a different path, which is essentially the whole reference of the god of light and darkness's creations, the fact of choice. Like, Ozpin chose to put his faith in humanity, Salem chose to put her faith in darkness, and that's why they're conflicted now, and it seems like their battle is the battle of the god of light and darkness is transcending to them now. So, that's another thing, too. My Shiny Teeth in Me. That was, like, one of my favorite songs, dude, when that show came on. Or, like, Icky Vicky. Anything with Chip Skylark was fucking dope. Yeah, I think they were either a part of each other's team, or maybe they have history, like they went to school together. You know what I mean? And if you also put into consideration, so the Great War ended 80 years ago in the story of RWBY. 80 years ago. After the Great War, people started naming their kids after color, like an expression of art and self-expression and stuff like that. So you have like Ruby, Blake, Jean, Pyrrha. Like that's where the color rule comes from. Like that's why when you create a character in RWBY, whether it's an OC for yourself or the people who like Miles Gray or like Monty Miles Gray or Carrie, whenever they created a character, it had to follow the color rule of their name has to mean a color, make you think of a color. It has to be a color, or it has to mean a color. It's those four things, or it's a derivative of those four things, and that follows suit because any character whose name means a color means that they were born after the Great War, after that trend started. Salem and Ozpin are the only two characters whose names don't follow that rule. Salem and Ozpin don't. I don't think those mean colors. They don't mean colors. So that means that they've existed prior to that trend, which means they've probably existed prior to the Great War. Which means they've been battling for God knows how long, especially since Ozpin seems to have this reincarnation ability to reincarnate into another person. So the body of Ozpin that we see might not even be the original Ozpin, you know what I mean? So, so that's a thing. Let's see. Crow, well, it's either their first name or their last name. So I think Branwen is a color, not necessarily Crow. Raven and Crow are siblings, and they both share the last name. So I think Branwen is still connected to the color rule. So yeah, like I said, I go off on tangents. I go off on my own little beaten path. So like getting back to this, like so, and this is like where I was like, damn, okay, this is where I was like, okay, Ironwood, now you're kind of like, now you're kind of just like asking for it. He basically kind of not threatens, but he kind of like he kind of flexes a bit, and he's just like, well, at the end of the day, no one gets in or out without the council's permission. And then he's like, you mean your permission? I actually said that too. I was like, you mean without your permission? And he's like, well, if that's the case, then you better be on my good side. And I'm just like, whoa, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, these two are just both high-strung, and they're just both under a lot of stress and pressure to make a move and do something without it blowing up in their face. Like Jacques can't realize that, dude, if you are able to just willingly produce your dust out there, you're giving ammo to the enemy. Like, the enemy that we don't even know who it is. It could be anybody. And then for Ironwood, it's like, well, I understand you want to go about things tactfully, but just imprisoning everyone, which is essentially what you're doing, just to make sure that nothing bad happens, like no way in, no way out, isn't the best way to go about it either. So, so it's just a matter of like they're just not seeing eye to eye. And then and then Winter too. So Weiss is here like listening to everything, by the way. So she finds out about Winter. Winter is in Mistral. So that's another big key factor why I think that this volume in particular is a setup volume. It's a setup for essentially Mistral and Haven. You have Watts going to Haven. Watts is heading to Mistral. One of Salem's informants is in Mistral, which is why he's going to meet them there. Adam is staging a coup, essentially, on the leader of the White Fang, and he's going to launch an attack on Mistral. On Haven, rather. You have RWBY, Team Rangers, going there. If Yang decides to go after her sister, she's going to be going there. Winter's already there. Weiss is going after Winter, who's already there. So it's like, these are all set pieces. Like, Mistral is the next... Haven is the next school to fall. It's the next tower to fall. And it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So, it's unfortunate. It sucks. And I think Atlas will be the last one to fall. Or Atlas will be the last target. Because then by then, they will have probably cut their bridges... Like, burn their bridges with everyone else. That when it's finally time for the enemy to assault Atlas, no one's going to be there to help them because everyone else is going to be defeated, you know? So, a nuclear dust bomb. Winter is the informant plot twist. No fucking way. No way, dude. But I'm really glad that Winter is relevant. Like, she's going to be coming back in Volume 5, hopefully, if we see her and Winter relink up. Very excited to see any characters that we've already seen, but in the new animation style that we've yet to see. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her again. Yeah, Klein Sybin, I think that's his name. Hold on. Winter is coming again. Well, actually, Weiss is coming at this point, like, because she's going to Winter, so... But she doesn't know that, so... Yeah, Professor Peach. We'll never fucking... You know why we'll never see Professor Peach? I think it's because Professor Peach is a reference to Princess Peach from Mario, and it's like a reference to, like, the Mario games. Like, every time you defeated a castle, like, the freaking Toadstool would be like, oh, your princess is in a different castle. So it's like, Professor Peach is always somewhere else, so it's almost like that reference essentially. And then Port and Ooplet could be considered like the Mario and Luigi because A, they're always together, B, one's green and one's yellow, one's fat and one's tall. So those three together would essentially be like the Mario Brothers reference, which is super awesome. Damn Toad. Fucking Toad, dude. Well done. However, Professor Peach is out on the field at this time. Yeah, essentially. That'd be so cool, though, if we got to see Professor Peach. But yeah, so this right here was like, at this point, like, I would have left if I was Weiss long before, because right here was where I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do now? Like, he's leaving, and she actually decides to lock the door, and she at the end of the day, she kind of just sets red flags, like, okay, why is my door locked? Why can't he break it down? And then the first thing that happens after they open the door is they call for Klein, and Weiss is about to leave. Whitley, I have no idea what the hell he's doing. So it's like at this point, like, they're gonna find out immediately. They're probably gonna go to your room and be like, what the hell? Like, she's gone. And I really hope Klein doesn't, like, get severely punished or in trouble by it. Just because, like, yo, fucking Klein's my boy, dude. Klein's that boy. I'm just saying. Like, without freaking Klein, I feel like Weiss would be just like Whitley, or probably be just as depressed as her mom. That's another thing too. We didn't even see the mother this entire volume, and it's kind of like, well, when the fuck are we gonna see her? You know what I mean? Especially if we're leaving Atlas. When are we ever gonna come back to Atlas if not by the fall of Atlas, or like the invasion attack on Atlas for the tower? Like, I highly doubt she's gonna leave. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's very unfortunate. You know what I mean? I would have loved to see her mom. Oh shit, Klein is dat boy. Oh man. Probably still drinking in the garden. Yo, she must be sauced out of her fucking mind at this point then. Who is Leo? Leo is presumably the headmaster of Mistral, based on the conversation that Ironwood and Jacques had. So, essentially, he's just another headmaster who's basically has to deal with a lot of stuff if all of this shit's happening at his kingdom. Neo is the informant. Oh, imagine! That would be very interesting. Huh. That would be a good way for her to be relevant again. No one would know who she is. She doesn't fucking... well, that'd be a problem, because she doesn't fucking talk. And why would he have to go all the way there to get... like, she texts. Like, she's texted before. So, it would be a lot easier for her to just send the information to his scroll. But, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting if she was the informant. Yeah. That would be a great way for her to be relevant again, to be honest. And that would be a great scene to see if we see Whitley back... if we see Watts back in Mistral, like if we see what he's up to and Neo is with him, that would be incredible. That would be amazing. Salem has no Wi... yeah, Salem has no Wi-Fi. Yep, that's right, actually. She has no... she doesn't have a tower, so the scroll wouldn't work where they are. The informant is actually Dove Bronzewing. Yo. How would she inform? I don't know, sign language or something? I would too. I would rather Neo also be mute, but it's like, wouldn't you want like a backstory on her? It's like I can understand, like, people like Neo based on appeal, like, solely, because that's all we have. Like, all we have for Neo is appeal and combat experience. That is it, you know? She looks cute, or she's really tiny, or she doesn't talk, so that adds to her appeal, or she's a really good fighter, or just the tons of fan art that's out there about her. But it's like, eventually, to really kind of have that deep-seated love for her, you would need to, well, not deep-seated love, but like that affinity for her. I feel like we need more, you know what I mean? Like, we need more from her. A backstory, why she doesn't talk, where did she come from? How did her and Roman come to be? And I don't know. It's up in the air right now. But it seems like, I don't know, it seems like they might keep her mute because they have that shtick going in RWBY Chibi as well, where like she has like the Wile E. Coyote kind of thing going on, where she has like the signs up of what she's saying. So personally, I think her mute, the fact that she's mute is like a massive boost to her appeal. And you know, at least right now, you know who does and who doesn't like her. But if you add that appeal, if you add that factor of her talking, there's going to be people that probably liked her that aren't going to like her anymore, and people who didn't like her, maybe they choose to like her or whatever. And it just all comes down to how they go about it, you know what I mean? It's kind of like how, it's like the whole Naruto thing, like, people were wondering what Kakashi looked like for so freaking long. They kept the mask on his face the whole series, and it wasn't until Naruto ended that they decided to reveal it, so that way it wouldn't damage his image as a character throughout the series. So I don't know how they're gonna go about doing that with Neo. Hold on, my comment box. But yeah, I've always just been wondering that, like wondering when's Neo going to pop up again, when's Neo going to be relevant again, etc., etc. Oh no, my laptop froze. This one, the one with the chat, which is kind of unfortunate. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up my phone just because I need the chat to come back up. I'm gonna pull up the chat on my phone, so give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. Oh, wait, never mind. Here we go. It's fixed. It's loading. This laptop that I'm using, the second one, is just as old as the one that I am currently using. So, and I only use this for the chat. Like, I can't use it for anything else because it's, like, old and brittle. What if Neo is choosing to be quiet? I mean, that'd be interesting, too, but it's like, I don't know. Neo is just a very, very intriguing character in terms of, like, what it means for her to be, like, relevant or more prominent as a character moving forward. But give me 1 second. I gotta pull up the chat on my phone because this computer's being kind of wonky. Just so I can still keep up with what you guys are saying in the chat on your end. There we go. Just gotta lower the volume on my end. Let's see. I'm gonna refresh this really quick. Give me 1 second, guys, if you're still in here somehow, if you can still hear me. Hold on to the sound of my voice. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, there we go. Alright. Hold on. And pop-up chat. There we go. Okay. Well, I have the chat on my phone now, so... Well, actually, hold on. I want to see if this is consistent with what I'm seeing on my computer. It probably is. Oh, yeah, and now it wants to fix. Neo speaking with... Aw, dude, if Neo spoke like Baymax, Aw, dude, I would literally die. Choose to be silent and has a deep masculine voice. TJ, thank you for sticking around. You have a good night, dude. I much appreciate the support and for you sticking around and hearing. We can hear and see you. All right, nice. At least that's still going. Holy shit, the chat just went nuts. Oh, I think the chat's like catching up with itself actually. Neo is a man confirmed. Let's see. Yeah, so I do like also the fact of attention to detail. In the scene with Yang and her dad, I forgot to mention this, but I'm mentioning it because it kind of runs parallel with this. In the scene with her dad, when Yang and Tai were in the barn, you can actually hear the echoing with like inside of the barn, like their voices are echoing off of the walls as they're talking to each other in like the little shed, not the barn, the shed. And I thought that was really cool attention to detail. And then again, when she's like walking on the floor, you know she's walking on the floor, and then her steps are like padded a bit or muffled from the carpet. So I thought that was really good attention to audio detail. You thought it was me, Neo. That's actually pretty funny. I don't know anything about JoJo's, but I know that meme from my friend Zach. Oh man, I would love to know more about the moon in due time. But yeah, I also like this room here, the library. I decided to just get this screenshot just because there was like a scene, there was like an area in every scene that I really liked. Like, I liked the backyard scene of, like, on Patch. I liked this scene. The next scene that's going to be in Menagerie, I really, really liked, like, the opening part. So, but we know her VA, right? Didn't RT say Casey is? No, they've never revealed any character's voice acting, ever, for Neo. They said that they actually never confirmed or denied if they had somebody in mind. So, we don't know. Let's see. So yeah, so Klein comes back and he's actually grumpy. I'm willing to believe that his personality disorder is actually like he's split 7 ways between the 7 different dwarves. So you have like we've seen grumpy, happy, and sneezy from him so far, as well as his neutral state where he's just Klein. So you have happy, grumpy, bashful, sneezy, dopey, Doc, and I'm missing one. Shit. It's so hard to think as you're going because they end like with E. So but there's 7 dwarves. I only counted 6 of them. Doc, would you say Doc is neutral? Because Doc has a speech impediment and Klein doesn't seem to have one. So that Doc might actually not be neutral. Sleepy. Oh, okay. He's all 7 dwarves. Okay, there you go. Bashful, Doc, Dopey, Happy, Sleepy, Sneezy, and Grumpy. There you go. But yeah, no, Doc has a speech impediment. Doc will say, like, it's in the chorus. I mean, it's in the forest. Like, he has a speech impediment, so, I don't think that he's Doc. Unless they decided to just forego that part of him. Because Doc very much is the neutral part of like out of all the dwarves, he seems the most normal out of the bunch. Granted, the fact he's a doctor, so he probably takes care of everybody. Huh. What if they were just on low budget when they created Neo? Highly doubt that, because Monty created Neo 10 days before she was in the episode. Neo was literally a product of Monty just thinking about it, and he was like, I'm going to put her in the show now. Like, he thought of her 10 days before she was put into, like, a week and a half before she was put into the first episode. So, maybe that was short-lived. Maybe, I can understand it being, like, something that wasn't planned. It was like a spur-of-the-moment thing that Monty was able to create and put into the show and make useful. But maybe it was just they didn't flush her purpose out enough before he passed, and now, she's just in the ether of what to do with her. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I want a lot for Neo because she's a character that people fucking love based on little to no depth. And I think that's great, and just to add that depth would make her one of, like, the most lovable characters of the show thus far. So I really hope that's something that could be done. Oh, it was a joke. Well, it's almost impossible to pick up on sarcasm in text form on the internet. So Neo doesn't speak because she's ice cream. Oh man! Oh my God! You just gave me a really cool RWBY short idea video for Neo. Oh my God! It's gonna be so sick. But yeah, so Klein's coming back all grumpy, so I don't know if this is the product of Whitley, like whatever he was dealing with Whitley, or if it was just like, keep it down, you know what I mean? I told you to keep it down or whatever. And I'm so thankful for him because like Weiss is like Klein's only family, really. And he even mentioned it too. He was like, I suppose like he was like, I suppose Winter will be your only family after tonight, and I was like, Klein, boy, like you're her family, like you're helping her escape. You've probably been there for her whole life. Like you're probably Klein's probably honestly the biggest form of credit when it comes to why Weiss wasn't just like a cold stone, like cold-hearted bitch at the beginning. Like she was at the beginning, but I feel like there was a lot of redemption there, and for whatever was left, whatever was like that kind of good-sided nature of her was harbored because of Klein. I'd like to think so, at least. Winter wasn't around. It doesn't seem like she was around after she got a lot older, and maybe she just felt very distant from her sister. Well, they seem to like really get along and whatnot, so I don't think like Winter was ever like a bad influence on Weiss. Whitley obviously didn't like either one of them, and the dad probably favored Whitley after he was born while he was trying to make successors out of both his daughters that didn't end up working. So, and obviously Weiss mentioned that she had a very tough childhood because of the whole family business and, the father coming home furious every night based on whatever happened with his company and the White Fang and all that jazz. So, it's just very, I'm just very thankful that we have a character like Klein who was, like a supporting role, almost like a parental figure, like the much needed parental figure to the best of his ability for Weiss. I bet if Klein, I bet Klein is angry because he had to deal with Whitley. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, oh my fucking god, this kid again. He probably wants me to make him crepes in the middle of the night. So, what did you miss about your girl Yang? Everything, essentially. We did wrap up on Yang about, like, is she going to choose to go with Ruby or Raven? Is she ready to go back out there? And, like what is she going to take away from this experience going back into the real world? So, rip stream. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh gosh. Did my stream end? I'm still good on my end. Oh, it's back. Oh my god. all of a sudden, all of a sudden I just see no, 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 no. I'm like, no what? Like what did I say? Oh my gosh. You guys scared the hell out of me. Ah, refresh. Oh my goodness. Now I know how the mods feel like when the stream, like when the chat explodes. Oh my god, that is insane. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. My stream health is in the green, so it doesn't really, like literally health green live. Like what the hell? Green health equals your viewers are happy. Apparently they're not if they're telling me my stream ended. Jesus. Well, I apologize for that, guys. My bad. You went offline for a second. I don't know why that happened. I'm not even done talking yet. So, that was very rude of my internet to do. My internet's actually really good. I'm doing this and my roommate's streaming right now. So, we're both, like, putting a lot of stress and strain on the internet. But it's good on both our parts because we have, like, really reliable service now. So, yeah, I definitely feel for my mods now. Oh, man. The Russians are hacking you? Jesus Christ. It told us you were offline. That's really odd. That's really strange. Well, we're back. So, last thing I was just mentioning was that, like, Klein's that boy. He is, like, the best parent that Weiss has ever had in terms of her development, depending on whenever he came into the family to, like, her upbringings and helping her out and whatnot. And I'm super thankful that he was actually able to be around for her. And now, get into Menagerie. This was the shot that I really liked. I just really like a lot of like the bright and vibrant scenes that they show off. Like again, like the one that they showed in Patch, the one that they showed here. I think I took another screenshot similar to like Menagerie, like when we first got there. I just really, really like the scenery of like these episodes and like just the right scene. Like this is like the backyard, like balcony, you know, with the couch and stuff like that, and the trees in the background and the sunlight. It just looked really nice. I really liked it. Yeah, Sun's alive, and to be completely honest, like I did a poll a week or so ago on Twitter on like who do you think's gonna die? Do you think anyone's gonna die this volume, or do you think anyone's in danger of dying? And I mentioned like Crow, Ren, Nora, or nobody. And someone mentioned, a bunch of people were like, well, what about Sun? And I was like, honestly, Sun's not in danger. Like, Sun is in no danger. Like, he got struck in the chest, no danger. Like, he's not in danger at all. For the moment, I was worried about him, because it's like, oh, son of a bitch. Like, now he's injured. But at the end of the day, I'm like, he's good. He's fine. Like, at no point in my mind did I think he was in any immediate danger. Like, he is in Menagerie with primarily good people, and Blake, and, you know, her family, and he easily just needs to walk it off, like, heal up, and rest, and that was it. So, in no way did I ever really think, like, oh man, Sun might die. Nah. Especially if he died like that, it's like, Jesus Christ, that was so sudden and almost kind of forced if they were to do that. So, in no way did I think that. I'm not saying that he's above dying, like it's impossible for him to die, but for that moment, definitely. I only put like Ren, Nora, and Crow on the chopping block when I put that tweet out, because they're actually in an environment where death is very much a possibility, especially with the Grimm that showed up. Sun, he got a freaking he got a stab wound that he's healing from, but I didn't think like that would have been the end-all be-all. Like his dying words to Blake as he's about to die on a random rooftop. You know, I didn't see that at all. Yeah, and Kali would have been pissed too, because like I honestly feel like she's got like a Stacy's mom vibe going on. I feel like there's like a Stacy's mom vibe going on, but like a reverse Stacy's mom. So it's like, instead of not Stacy, who's in the chat, by the way, I mean Stacy's mom, like the song, like Stacy's mom has got it going on, whatnot. That's their shipping name, by the way. Sun and Kali's shipping name is Stacy's mom. So it's kind of like reverse, like she is interested in him, and he's just like there. So, Mrs. Robinson vibes. Dude, imagine fucking Neptune was here. I don't know if Neptune would be hitting on her, though, because Neptune's like more into like young girls, at least for what we've seen. Like the Malachite twins, Melanie and Melsha, Yang, like Brie, like almost like a little bit like from that one scene, like she was riding on the motorcycle, he was like, what a woman. And Weiss, obviously. So does that mean she's a cougar? I wouldn't be surprised if she's a cougar faunus, honestly. They're in the cat family, so it works. But yeah, this scene right here, like their whole conversation after he wakes up, like we already knew, but like obviously for context for him and everything else, like this is the reason why she chose to be away from her friends and her family, to keep them safe. Like, her past is hurting her friends. Like, her past involvement with Adam is what got Yang hurt. Her past involvement with the White Fang in general and Ilya is what got Sun hurt. So it's like, and she said that Ilya isn't even the worst. So, like, obviously Adam's up there, but I'm pretty sure she knows other officials or other high-ranking members who are just as bad as Adam and Ilya that will probably hurt her other friends if they decide to get involved. And you mean a puma? Yeah, that could work too. And that's like a reference within a reference, which is super cool. No, actually, I think what's his name was a puma. What's his name? With Tuxin. Well, they made like a puma reference to him. So I'm pretty sure the puma was him. By puma, you mean warthog? Well, that's where the reference comes from. Yeah, the abs are back in full effect, so everyone can stop complaining about that. But it was just a matter of like this whole scene was primarily a matter of just trying to think. Like, you know what I thought of when I saw this? I thought of the pep talk that Jean gave Ruby. Like, Ruby is like feeling down and feeling doubtful of going through with everything and getting Team Ranger involved. I mean, Team Juniper involved, similar to how Blake feels like she is to blame for Sun getting hurt and for Yang getting hurt. But just like Jean said, it's like, for Jean, it was like Ruby didn't drag them along. They chose to go because she gave them the courage to help out and to do what's right. Similar to this, like, Sun wasn't like, damn, man, I have to get on this boat because Blake told me to. You know what I mean? Like, Sun made that choice for himself. Yang, I don't think she made the choice to attack Adam. I think that came solely from, like, just emotional reaction of, you're hurting my friend and you're the bad guy and I need to protect her. So, that's what got her hurt. But at the same time, like, I think Yang would have done it again. Like, she would do it again. She would lose her arm again if it meant protecting Blake. And I think the reason why Yang is taking it so hard is because she sees, like, I risked my life for you and you just bail. You know what I mean? That's why it probably hurts so much for Yang, is because, like, I risked my life for this person, and this person, from her perspective, of course, this person just left. And made sure I was safe, yeah, but just left after I did that for them. And obviously Blake's trying, she too has the best of intentions. She wants to keep everyone safe, but at the same time it's like, you know, you're getting into dangerous waters that it's better for me to deal with it. No, and it seems somewhat altruistic. It seems somewhat selfless, but, you know, this is similar to like the cardinal rule of helping someone. You can only help someone so much, but they have to want help in order for you to help them. Like, if you do so much for somebody and they don't reciprocate and they don't show any signs of change or whatever, you have to let that person go. You have to just realize this person isn't going to change. They don't have the will to, or they don't have the will or the desire to seek help from others. So it's kind of like that reverse. Like, Blake has to just understand, like, hey, we're trying to help you, whether you like it or not, because we're friends and that's what friends do. And you pushing us away is only going to make us feel hurt that we're doing something that we feel is right and you're not allowing us to do that. It's a little bit different. Like, the two cases are a little bit different based on the fact that this is like, she literally can't do all of this by herself. She can't fight the White Fang by herself. You know what I mean? Similar to how Ruby, she was like, I never should have dragged you guys along. It's like, well, did you really think you would have made it this far without us? You know what I mean? Like, they're a team. And no one person can do all of that stuff. There's no I in team, essentially. So, wow, there's 666 people in the chat. So, I'm gonna, hopefully that's not a bad omen or anything. Oh, it just jumped to 671. So thank you guys so much for that. Arnold just had to choose the sexy sun picture. Yo, it's just like, and then another thing too, Michael did a really good job. Like, this was one of the first times that we actually see Sun in a not so goofy, not so eccentric kind of state, where everything's not blowing up, he's not like heavy action or whatever. This is like a real heart-to-heart moment that Sun is having, and I really like seeing that. And we know Sun came from like a rough background too. He was born in Vacua, which has it worse than any of the other kingdoms. So it's really great to see that he is a really good source of advice and, not guidance, but just a really good friend to be there for Blake when she needs it. And he even said it too. He's like, I would do it again in a heartbeat if it meant protecting you. And I think that kind of fuels a little Black Sun going on. I'm not one to ship, and I'm not one to fuel shipping, but I do tend to go with, you know, what you see is what you get. And based on like past events, obviously he likes her from the past and from like past mentions and stuff like that. And even like with this portion, like even with this episode, like she mentioned she's like my hero, which is a callback to when they first like got on the boat and they were fighting that Grim, where Sun like where she like picked up Sun or no, caught sun out of the sky, and he was like, "My hero, now you say it." And she actually ended up saying it back to him, which was really, really sweet, and that was a really good callback. So, hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, and she did it with a cat face too. And the immediate follow-up, which I could not believe this was happening, it felt very parallel, was this right here. Fucking Kali just straight eats shit into the floor. This was super fucking funny. Just because it was like damn. Like, so you know what I think at this point? I think very much that Kali and Gira are like the gender bent reversal of Blake and Sun. Like, Kali probably acts the same way Sun does, or just acts more carefree. Blake seems very high-strung and a lot more serious and stern, just like Gira. And, like, this was like the parallel right here. Like, oh no, I'm surprised she didn't say, this isn't where the bathroom is, because that's what Sun said. And instead she was like, oh, look at that, he's all better, when they were just eavesdropping just like Sun was. It was a really great callback, and I think it definitely fueled the whole parallel of Blake and Sun to Gira and Kali. Like, and I love how Sun was like, hey, what's up, Mrs. B? Like, Mrs. B. Like, that's the most generic response you can give to a mother figure that, like, you're interested in her. Like, if you're part of the family, essentially, or if you're really close to the family. Like, it seems like the ice has already been broken with them. They're already warmed up, and they're already comfortable with one another. It's obviously going to be Gira that Sun has to kind of, you know, drive the point home of, hey, you know, I'm right for your daughter, or, you know, I have good intentions, just because they came off, like, he doesn't like Sun. So I love how Kali is, like, already there with him. He's like, hey, Mrs. B. It's like, Jesus Christ. If Stacy's mom doesn't happen, I'm a riot. Good luck with that, dude. Yeah, and he's topless, so, like, look at her face. She's just like, I like what I see. I like what I see. What did I marry into? Yeah, freaking, they need to get a better, they need to fix that door is what they need to do. Because it's like, clearly that door is not sturdy at all for eavesdropping. I think the door was weak on purpose to stop eavesdropping. Well, it seems like it's like like, it served its purpose so far. Yeah, Kali's married. The whole point of Stacy's mom is just for the creativity of the ship, of course. But this was really interesting because now we found out like what was on that scroll that Ilya had that they got, which is the whole White Fang coup d'etat that's gonna happen. Apparently, didn't realize shit was getting this serious, but Adam's gonna try to overthrow the White Fang like Sienna Khan, like the not so peaceful ruler that kind of orchestrated all of this to happen. But that doesn't make sense. If the leader is already malicious, what the fuck is the point of Adam overthrowing him? You know what I mean? Like, unless the reports are true, you know, unless the reports, but that I don't think they are, because it's like, what's his name? Fennec and Corsac, they were like, oh, we should report this back to Brother Adam that Blake is here. And a friend of mine said that it would be interesting if this was false information, like if this was planted on purpose to kind of derail Blake from everything and to try to get her alone with Adam. Because if she thinks Adam's going to Mistral and he really isn't, like, maybe things are going to happen at Mistral and they're going to be off guard or something. But you see a bunch of, like, other... There's a bunch of files on the scroll, and there's a bunch of... what's the word? Initials. There's a bunch of initials. There's obviously an untitled folder, which, I mean... You have to have one of those. It's just typical for anybody who has folders. Everyone has that one untitled folder, just based on the fact that they don't know what the hell to call it. But they're staging a coup, and they're gonna attack the White Fang. I mean, they're gonna attack, launch a full-scale attack on Haven. But it's like, well, why can't you do it with the forces that you already had to begin with for the fall of Beacon? You know what I mean? Why do you need to overthrow the leader and then attack? So the foxes weren't actually lying. I don't know. It's very all over the place right now. I don't have an untitled folder. I definitely do. So, but I think it's very much a setup, because on top of that, the opening doesn't really give away anything. The opening doesn't really foreshadow things to come in the future. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But for this volume in particular, it's very much like we saw Blake and Adam face off in a desert setting. We know that there's a desert in Menagerie, but that hasn't happened yet. So is that still going to be a factor that happens? Is Adam going to derail Blake and Son going to Haven for the White Fang to attack on Haven and keep them here separated? That's kind of like the big thing that I'm kind of wondering. All of Adam's dank memes are the ones in those folders. Oh my fucking god. Wow. That is incredible. Fucking dank memes, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, Kali straight, like, ate shit, dude. Oh my god. I like memes too. Well, I'm actually like on a meme spree actually. The clenched fist scenes, like I make Arthur memes out of those on Twitter, and the animators are kind of the animators want me to stop, but I'm just like, hey, I'll stop when you guys stop making them. And there has been a clenched fist scene in I think every episode so far. I found one in chapter 10 actually. I have to go back in this one to find one, but cuz I didn't double check this episode to see if there was one after I initially watched the episode. But yeah, like I'm on my own meme grind for RWBY, and a lot of people seem to like it. I love me some dank memes. Yeah. So it seems like, and this was very interesting too, because she comes to the conclusion, she actually finds the answer that she's been searching for years, or at least since she's been at Beacon, which was like, so like she comes to the conclusion that we can't defeat the White Fang, we can't destroy the White Fang, so we have to take it back. And I think this is incredible, like it comes back around for Blake's development, or for Blake's realization, because if you guys remember, Volume 2, I think it was chapter 10. It was the Mountain Glen episode with Uplek, where Uplek was asking all of the girls, except for RWBY. So essentially, Uplek was asking all of the girls, "Why do you want to be a huntress?" Like Yang, "Why do you want to be a huntress?" Like Weiss, you're the Schnee Dust Company heiress. Why do you want to be a huntress out of everything? And he asked Blake the same thing. And the reason why he asked them three and not RWBY is because it is clear as day what RWBY's goal is to be a huntress. She just wants to fight monsters, save people, and she doesn't want anything in return. That's what she wants to do. And essentially that kind of works for her kind of destiny to as a silver-eyed warrior, because that they were destined to lead the life of a warrior, so that kind of fits for her. The reason why he asked Blake, Yang, and Weiss is because they had ulterior motives. Their first and foremost reason for being huntresses wasn't to help people first and then your goals second. Yang's was, I'm a thrill seeker, and I'm doing this line of work because, I'll be able to travel, and in a way that could kind of also lead her to find answers for her mother. Weiss wanted to fix her family's problems first, and Blake wanted to kind of right the wrongs of her past with the White Fang. Uplek asks her, like when he asks her specifically, she says something along the lines of, there's too much corruption in the world, too much violence and hate, extortion and stuff like that. Like somebody has to deal with it, someone has to fix it. And then he says, how? And she doesn't have an answer. Like, she doesn't have an answer for, how are you going to deal with the White Fang? How are you going to deal with Adam? How are you going to deal with your past? She doesn't know. She didn't know, at least. It took her 4 volumes, but now she knows that they have to take the White Fang back. They have to make it peaceful again like it was back in the day. And I think that's really, really, really cool how that it all plays back to Blake's development. Like, that's what Blake's always been about. She's always been about, you know, that's why she joined the White Fang. The White Fang were known as the most noble and the most, like, highest regarded people, like forces that ever existed, and she felt that that'd be a great way for her to, like, right her wrongs, or a start. And I just really liked how it came down to, it came back around for her. Like, she actually has the answer, and now she's going to execute it, you know, with herself, with her family, with Sun, probably with other members of the White, not the White Fang, or other, like, Faunus on Menagerie. Maybe make a good White Fang and combat, like, the evil White Fang. I don't know. Or dismantle it from the inside out or something like that. But I love how the story writing came back around for her that way, of finding the answer that took her 3 volumes, essentially, since we found out about it. Or essentially the whole series up until she left the White Fang until now. So, I really, really enjoyed that. Arnold's thought process while watching RWBY. Someday I'll make a meme out of you. Well, that's at least for the episodes. I think I like the clenched fist meme, but I don't know if those will come back. Is the stream an hour in now? Just joined. I've been streaming for, let's see, I started at 8 o'clock, 9, 10. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 38 minutes. But I've only been discussing the episode for the past 2 hours. I started the discussion half an hour after the stream started. So, yeah, by all means, for any of you guys who are going to head out for the night, absolutely. You guys have a good night. Kay Addison, thank you for joining. And I appreciate the support very much. 788 people are in here, which is insane. Very much insane. I appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you so much for the support. If any of you guys are joining late, if any of you guys missed it, the live streams are always uploaded on my channel afterwards. I know it is kind of daunting to kind of go through a 2.5, almost 3 hour live stream after the fact, because it's not live and you feel like you're not in the moment with everyone else, but I definitely appreciate the fact that you guys stick around whenever you can. Super late, school nights, etc. And I know you guys are all on different time zones, so I very much appreciate it. I don't need sleep as long as you're here. I'll be here. Well, I very much appreciate it, guys. And I think this is the largest stream we've had since the Volume 1, since the first episode. The first episode I had 1,018 people in here, which was incredible. And now we're at the penultimate episode of the volume, so next weekend, or this upcoming Sunday, is going to be nuts, because it's the finale. And I'm going to have so much to screenshot, especially episodes like 20, 30 minutes plus. I can already see that live stream discussion being hours, like 4 hours long, at least, depending on what we get. But I appreciate it very much that you guys are willing to stick around and listen to me ramble, listen to me chat. And I very much appreciate, you know, everyone else who was here too. Brian, one of the compositors for RWBY. Aaron Zek, voice of Blake, was here, which was great. I literally did not think that was even, like, I didn't think that was really her. You guys said that she tweeted it out, so if someone can send me that tweet, I'd really appreciate it. But Zoran Akiba, you were here. Like, I haven't talked to you in forever, and you're still here, which is fucking nuts. Dan, I know you're in fucking Spain, so I appreciate you coming through whenever you're able to. I'll sleep when I'm dead. That reminds me of Patrick from fucking SpongeBob. No. That's no. He doesn't say I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, they're climbing, like they're in the imagination box and they're like scaling a mountain, and SpongeBob's like, Patrick, take it easy. He's like, I'll take it easy when I'm dead. And that's what it reminded me of. Yeah. Oh, she tweeted in a stream. Nice. Let's see. So then, wrapping up the episode, and probably what a lot of you guys want me to talk about, is the final scene, which was less than a minute, which was like very in, off, out, and left a lot to be desired for the final episode, especially since the last, like, episode 10 left us off on that cliffhanger, and then this episode left us off on, like, the teaser reveal of the Grimm. So before anything, for those of you who don't know, The song Lucis Naturi is a song created by Jeff Williams exclusively for RWBY Grimm Eclipse the game. I've uploaded the song to my channel if you guys haven't listened to it. Flint of RWBY Nation also uploaded the video on his channel with lyrics, so you can actually read the lyrics as the song's going on. My lyrics are in the description. But the OST of that song was in the first episode of RWBY, when the Grimm, like when the Beowulfs were being formed out of the ooze at the very first scene of the episode. And that song is a theme to one of the characters in the game named Dr. Mallow. He's a scientist who kind of experimented on the Grimm to make them more destructive, more deadly, more perfect, like, life forms. And the OST of that song shows up again in this episode. It shows up at the beginning of the episode and at the end of the episode when the Grimm's revealed. And I think that's, again, very intriguing. I don't think it hints that Dr. Merlot will be a part of RWBY in, like, the proper space, like the canon space of the show. But I think it is I think it's just an OST reference that Lucis Naturi is based on the perfection of the Grimm and how deadly they are and how he's pushing them to the next level. And then when we see these Grimm, like these crazy next level Grimm, the music is playing in the background. So I just wanted to mention that right off the bat because that is a pretty cool, reference if you're able to pick it up, and it really flows well with how it played with the reveal of the Grimm. So, yeah, so like they're like fucking track star moding it back from the mountain. So from the mountain back to Kuroyuri, they were able to make it back in time to just warn or just to make sure that team like RWBY, Jean, and Crow were safe. I think that's mainly because the Grimm, I don't think the Grimm was seeking out anything. I think the Grimm was just making its rounds, and they realized, holy shit, it's making its round on Kuroyuri. That's where our friends are. We need to make it back. So they just fucking booked it, which, I mean, I'm just happy that they were able to make it in time and that, like, RWBY, Jean, and Crow weren't just, like, sitting ducks. They're all together, and they can all make a combined effort. But, yeah, the Volume 4 soundtrack, no idea when that's going to come out, but I hope it's not too long of a wait. Probably in the spring, if anything. And he's able to make it to Team Ranger. Crow is literally not even relevant right now. Like, Crow is like a sitting fucking duck. Like, if this Grimm wanted to, this Grimm could just run up to Crow and just step on him and kill him. And I'm like very nervous for Crow more than anything, because everyone else here is very capable if they just keep their wits about them and if they just don't panic. Like, that's the biggest fucking thing, is don't panic. Like, take Ozpin's cardinal rule, like, don't panic, because you're just gonna dig yourself in. And I don't know if characters know that. Like, we know that. We know from the world of Remnant that Grimm are lured by negative emotions, and we know that RWBY knows that. Well, they have to know that, because they go to fucking Beacon, and that's one of, like, that Uplek mentioned that to them. He was like, he mentioned that to the, well, I don't know, because he mentioned that to Team RWBY. But why would you have to mention that to them if they took your classes, unless that's like something that you learned at a higher class level? You know what I mean? Like, maybe a second year would figure that out. And the first years are just still learning about, like, the history of the world, not the history of the Grimm. So, actually, taking that back, I'm not entirely sure if everyone is supposed to know that. You know what I mean? They figured that out during Volume 2. You know, they found that out in the field. In the field, they found out, hey, there's many reasons why Grimm would congregate in this area. Sadness, loneliness, anger, envy, all negative emotions. But why would Uplek need to tell them that? The only reason why he would tell them that is if they didn't know. Their first years on top of that. So, and this is their, oh my god. They wouldn't know that. Because that mission was supposed to be for second years only, but Ozpin bent the rules and let them go on that mission. So they wouldn't know that Grimm... Yeah, that's something that first years I don't think would know. So I don't think, like, Ren and Nora or Jean know that Grimm feed off of negativity, like negative emotions. I don't expect these villages to either, because if that was the case, they'd have a better time, like, keeping shit in check. But yeah, I think I think that that is an actual thing, that they don't know that. And if they don't know that, that would explain... Well, that wouldn't explain, but Ren being in this state right here, like, completely fucking, like, broken, isn't doing them any good. Him of all people, you know what I mean? Like, he... Like, and I completely understand, like, this is completely rational. This is, like, it's a bad time for it, but... He's looking in the face the Grimm that killed his mother, killed his father, destroyed his village, nearly got him and Nora killed, and has survived all of the... He's looking at he's looking his fear, his past in the face. He's looking at, like, his fear of the past. It's like come back to haunt him, essentially. And this Grimm is still alive after all of these years. And you have to remember, back then, Ren wasn't who he is now. He wasn't cool, calm, collected. He wasn't reserved. He wasn't, you know, tranquil as he was back then, like, as he is now. So I don't think anything else would have turned him like this, like, would have caused him to just fucking, like, he literally fell to his knees, like, the emotional, like, response just, like, dropped him. And he's in this kind of state now where Grimm attraction is, he's susceptible to Grimm attraction. And, like, everybody else is like Nora's like, Ren, are you okay? And he hears the hooves. Well, they hear the hooves of the Grimm coming from behind them. And I think that's another trigger. Because that's what you heard, that's what they heard when they were underneath the, building, Ren and Nora. That's all you heard was, like, the Grimm hooves, like, galloping. Not galloping, but you heard, like, the galloping noises of Grimm of the horse Grimm walking. So it's... it's I don't know how this is gonna go. I really don't know. I could see, like, Nora trying to snap him out of it. I can see, like, Ren, I can see, like, Ruby and John, like, holding the Grimm off while Nora tries to bring Ren to his senses. I can see maybe Ren's semblance kicking in and putting him to that point where you need to do what your dad said. You need to act. Like, you can't just be this person that's crying and weak and not confident, like you, like, especially right now. You have a fucking weakened Crow, you have Jean and Ruby who are kind of caught off guard. You're the only one who knows about this. You and Nora are the only ones who know about this Grimm, and this Grimm's gonna take your combined effort if you guys expect to live, you know, to tell the story. And it's a form of, like, PTSD, especially. PTSD is a very major theme, I think, this volume, especially with, like, Yang and, again, now with Ren. And, we get, oh my god, this fucking Grimm, dude. This, oh my god, like, I'm so happy, I'm so fucking happy that they did not reveal any aspect of what the Grimm looked like in the flashback besides its silhouette, because the Grimm looked so different. I assume the Grimm looks a lot different now than it does then, because it's lived for so long, so it's had time to mature and evolve. And those are, like, the arrows that are, like, getting shot in its back by, like, random hunters that and freaking villagers who have no combat experience. And I guess now it would make sense why all of those weapons were in the cave, was because, like, those are the weapons that are just get lodged in it, and it just goes back to its den and takes them out and just relaxes or heals up or whatever. And one of the arrows was Ren's dad's arrow from way back in the day, and I'm not sure if it still has any of those arrows lodged in its front, because that's where it was getting shot from for Ren's dad. But this fucking Grimm is the coolest fucking thing I have ever seen in RWBY. Like, I didn't even know a creature like this existed in mythos for them to derive, like, inspiration for it. Like, okay, we have a fucking gorilla, we have a scorpion, we have a wolf, we have a bear, we have, you know, we have, like, those common real-life animals, but Grimm form. Then they started going into, like, mythological creatures like griffins, which is one of my fucking all-time favorites. We have griffins, we have, like, geists, we have dragons, serpents, shit like that. And then I'm like, okay, well, what can they do now? What can they do next? And I never even knew a Nuckelavee, whatever it's called. Like, I didn't even know that existed until people were, like, just spamming me, like, yo, that's what it is. It's a Nuckelavee Grimm or whatever. And we still haven't seen what it fully looks like. We've only seen the hooves, and we've seen the face, which I'm going to disappear for a second. This fucking thing. This is the thing of fucking nightmares, guys. This is like, and the craziest thing, like the most eerie thing about this Grim is that it has like a clicking head movement, like some grudge shit. Like this thing just came out of someone's TV. Oh my god, I have no idea. I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking idea what this, like, when you look at something like this, I'm like, this is literally the thing of nightmares. This is literally, like how do you, like, we've never seen something like that. Now I'm terrified. Like, before I was like, I think it would be too edgy for them to kill somebody off in Volume 4. Whatever Grim it is, I'm sure they can handle it. Now I'm like, that thing just fucking dismantles villages, kills huntsmen, kills villagers, kills fucking anything in its path. And you're going up against, yeah, you're going up against 4 huntsmen. Well, you're going up against 2 huntsmen, 2 huntresses, but, you know, albeit, Crow's down. And I'm pretty sure Crow's... So here's another thing, too. Hold on, let me re-emerge. The big thing, too, is that Crow's there. Unless your semblance is in line with your aura, like, unless your aura is like your energy reserve for your semblance, his semblance is out of commission. But if his semblance is in effect, his bad luck semblance, it's neutral. It's for both sides. So the bad luck is going to work out for the Grim, but it's also going to work out for... It's not going to work out for RWBY Team Ranger, but it's going to affect Team Ranger and it's going to affect the Grim. I don't know if that's how it works or if it's only from Crow's perspective. Like, only Crow gets negative results or only his opponent gets negative results. And he's, like, right fucking there. So, I really... Like, this is, like, one of the first moments where it's people are like, what do you think's gonna happen? It's like, I couldn't tell you. I literally could not fucking tell you. First off, I can't tell you how long the episode's gonna be. Second, I can't tell you if anyone's gonna get out of here unscathed. Third, what I can tell you is I think that this Grim is gonna be too much for them to handle. If it is too much to handle, I don't know how they're gonna get out of this. I don't know who's gonna save them, if anyone does come and save them. I don't know how the volume is going to end. It seems like they set this fight up for the finale, but it's like, this can't be it. You know what I mean? This can't be like, oh, this is the fight, end of volume, see you in the fall. Or if this fight is going to start and end here. You know what I mean? I don't... This Grim takes no prisoners, so if you're gonna get into a fight with this thing, something is dying. Either this Grim is dying, or someone is going to die fighting this Grim. You know? And Crow, for the most part, can't do anything, which is why I feel like he's a big candidate for, like, just a fucking red X right on the screen for this Grim to just be like, he's the first one I'm going to take out. And, what if Raven saves the day? Someone mentioned that. Raven doesn't care about any of these people. Eliminate the fact that Crow is Raven's sister. Why would Raven save them? Raven is very, Raven lives by a very particular rule or order, which is, I live for my tribe, I do whatever it takes for my tribe's survival. They're not tribe. And in her eyes, Crow is a traitor. Crow turned his back on the tribe, so in a way... That's not her her brother is not her responsibility. In her eyes, if Crow is in this state, he's weak. The strong survive, the weak die out. So, there's no, like, Raven doesn't know these people. Like, why would Raven save people for the sake of saving them, you know? Yang, I see why she saved Yang. She gave Yang one chance, and one chance only, and as a daughter, and as a pseudo-member of, an illegitimate member of the tribe, like, from her eyes, she's the leader, she can decide who gets a freebie and who doesn't. I can see why she saved Yang, as her daughter and everything else. She doesn't know Ren, she doesn't know Nora, she doesn't know Jean, she probably knows RWBY, or can see a resemblance in RWBY from Summer, if Ruby wasn't around before she left, which I don't think she was, so she wouldn't know Ruby. There's no reason. There's literally no reason for her to save any of them, or her tribe to get involved in this fight. The only other thing I can think of, is Jean's semblance, which we haven't seen still. 4 volumes in, we haven't seen it, which I'm getting kind of annoyed now. Like, his semblance has been something that I've wanted to see since he's awakened his aura, and volumes 1 and 2 were... 1 and 2 were mainly, like, we saw, like, the results of his training with Pyrrha. She was going into training him with semblances and aura and stuff like that. He's still training for the videos that she left behind. I don't know if that's the only one she left behind, but we know that he's still training her, like, he's still learning from her, even after she's gone. And, like, I mean, I don't know, like, I can't think of a better thing for you to come through with, something that we don't know what it is, but if it has potential, now's the fucking time to show it. You know, like, I don't know. You know, I really don't know. I can't picture Yang coming through, even if whenever she left was a different time period, because it kind of feels out of place almost. You know, I can't picture Crow doing anything because he's out of commission. I can't picture Raven saving them because she doesn't know them through a hole in the wall. She has no ties with any of these people for her or her tribe to help them. And for them to just help themselves and save themselves, it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a fucking combined effort. They were struggling on the fucking Geist. And this thing looks a million times more terrifying and a million times more experienced, given the fact that it's been living since Ren and Nora were kids. And it's killed a bunch, and it's learned a bunch, and it has a crazy mobility. If it's part horse, then it has mobility. I don't know if it has weapons or not, because we haven't seen them. What I think would be super cool is if it has, like, weapons lodged in it, it would, like, rip those weapons out of itself and fight with those weapons. Or if it has, like, a bow, it just pulls an arrow out of its back and just use, like, that's, like, the savagery that I'm expecting from this Grimm, honestly. Or if it just has any, like, of its own abilities, like the Grimm Serpent could fucking shoot lightning out of its mouth, and the Poltergeist Grimm can possess, like, inanimate objects and shit. So these higher Grimm definitely have a form of, like, a part of themselves, which is something unlike we've ever seen before. And, yeah, the long claw, like the one that's fucking dragging on the floor, that has range. So he has mobility, he has range, he has experience. He's just fucking terrifying to just look at, so, like, that in of itself is its own reward for him. Maybe Silver Eyes could come in, maybe. Like, Ruby can't tap into that power, and unless Crow is, like, unless something happens that triggers another traumatic response from Ruby for her to activate her Silver Eyes, I really don't know. I'm stumped. I really don't know what could possibly happen. All I know is that Ren needs to snap the fuck out of it. You're fucking Renyata. You have the experienced tranquility fucking semblance that apparently has saved you and Nora in the past, and this is something that you definitely need to keep yourself and your emotions in check. And anybody on your team who is potentially, you know, getting freaked out or scared. The Grimm has no speed. I'm not saying in terms of speed. I'm saying in terms of, like the Grimm can gallop. The Grimm, and it has a height advantage too, because it's a fucking horse. You know, so it's part horse at least. So, oh my god, I just want to see what it actually, like, it's full. I just want to see what it looks like. That's, like, I care about that more than anything. And how a 4v1 or maybe a 4v2, if you kind of separate, like, does the horse think and act differently than the humanoid part? You know what I mean? Like, how does that work? So, I have the high ground, Anakin. You will try. Alrighty, and other than all of that, other than, like, my constant insisting rambling, that, in a nutshell, oh my god, my ass is killing me. I've been sitting in this chair for almost 4 hours. That is the live stream discussion for Volume 4, Chapter 11, the penultimate episode. And I'm really upset about that, the fact that we still We have one episode left, but we have only one episode left, you know? How the fuck does this Grim fight? I have no idea. We have to just wait and see, honestly. Don't underestimate my power. It's poisonous. We have to wait and see. I mean, I can understand, like, the mythology of the Nuckelavee, you know, breathing poison, and that sets up red flags for Nora based on how Thor died. But yeah, oh, I'm super sorry about that, Shooter. Some people just mentioned that they just joined. You can't wait to see episode 11. Episode 11's already out. It's out on the Rooster Teeth website. If any of you guys haven't seen it somehow and you sat through this whole thing, spoiler alert, the episode is out to watch. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want the episode to end, honestly. I honestly don't want to watch the last episode, because then it's like, it's over after that, you know, until the fall. They've already confirmed RWBY Volume 5 for fall 2017, which will probably, I'm calling it right now, October 21st, because that is on a Saturday. Volume 1 premiered on the 24th of October. Volume 3 premiered on the 24th. Volume 4 premiered on the 22nd, both of October. So, the Saturday following that's closest to that would be October 21st. So, I'm assuming Volume 5 will return October 21st. We'll probably get the official release date at RTX for whatever they have to show for Volume 5, which I am so happy that I'm going to be able to work my way into going again. And what else? Oh my god, there's 777 viewers right now. I just looked over at the number. That's sick. And RWBY Chibi is confirmed for a Season 2. That is going to be starting in May. And for any of you guys who are wondering, if you guys weren't in here when I mentioned it, Red vs. Blue Reactions will be returning in March for my channel. And, what else? I wanted to say something. RWBY Chibi, I'm going to be reacting to the last 4 episodes that I haven't watched from Season 1. I'm going to be reacting. That's going to be uploaded the weekend after my reaction to the finale. So, let's see. The final episode comes out on the 4th. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 would be my finale reaction. 12, 30, 40, 50, 60. So on the 18th, my RWBY Chibi reaction will be uploaded to my channel. So for anyone who wants to see that. But before anything, before I wrap up, how many of you guys saw my RTX vlog? The first 4 vlogs that I came out with on my channel for RTX. I'm just trying to get, like, there's 700 of you guys in here, so I can take, like, a small tally, at least right now, to see who ended up seeing it and who hasn't. Okay, so a bunch of you guys just sounded off, yes. Mods, your jobs are now done. You guys can take a break. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I saw you guys all monitoring the chat, and I do appreciate it very much. For those of you who haven't seen it, I went to RTX last year, RTX 2016. I was able to go through the support of people donating for me to go for my very first time last year, which was an amazing experience. It was incredible. It was awesome. And I've done 4 vlogs so far of me going on a plane for the first time, being in a hotel for the first time, being in Austin for the first time. I went to Rooster Teeth Productions, and having like a full 3-day RTX experience that I captured as much as I could, and I put it in the form of a vlog. There's still 2 more videos coming out. They're not as meta as like RTX, but they're still RTX related. And some of you guys, whoever saw me at RTX, you guys are going to be in the video, so look forward to that. But I'm gonna try to see if I can go to RTX again this year. I bought my VIP pass already, which I had to take savings out of my computer savings to be able to go at that level. But I'm working a way to go again this year, and I haven't worked out all of the, like, I haven't finalized like what exactly is happening because I'm waiting on something else to come to fruition. But I'm going to try to live stream RTX. What I mean by that is so it's going to be through Twitch. So, and I'm just letting you guys know this now versus so I don't forget, or so some of you guys can know about it now. I'm going to make a video about it when I make my video for RTX 2017, but last year I decided to vlog for all of the people who helped me get to RTX, whether they watched my videos, whether they, enjoyed what I did for Volume 3 and for RWBY, or if they or if they donated to my GoFundMe to help me get to RTX. I thought, like, a lot of people suggested, and it was like really pretty much the best way for me to return the favor was to vlog the experience and to kind of give people at home who weren't able to go a taste of my first time experience, or whether they weren't able to go, whether they helped me go, whatever, etc., and to just see that experience. And this year, I kind of wanted to up the ante. Like, if I'm able to get support again for RTX, it'll be incredibly grateful, and I'd appreciate it immensely. But I didn't want, like, I always try to do bigger and better. Like, last year, I only did reactions. So this year for Volume 4, I'm like, I don't want to do reactions, just reactions. I feel like reactions are very low-ended, low-quality effort. I understand the fact of recording and sitting there and all that stuff, but for me, I feel proud of my videos more when I feel like I put 100% of my effort into it. And, like, for this year, that's why I decided to get into news and information. That's why I decided to do the live stream discussions, which are hours of prep and hours of actual engagement. And, like, that's how I wanted to improve from last year to this year. So last year, I vlogged the experience with my camera. I did a bunch of editing, all that stuff. This year, I don't mind doing the vlog, but I would want it to be more intimate with whoever is able to join. So it's going to be through Twitch, and I said I don't know if it's going to happen because Twitch recently changed their policies where you can literally stream anything on Twitch. Like, before, it was very gaming specific. Like, you have to be playing video games, you have to be talking about video games, or, like, they added other platform, like, other categories, like creative. If you like drawing or if you like making music, you can stream those. They added, like, cooking, so you can actually, like, cook meals and stuff like that, and social eating and all that. But now Twitch is like YouTube almost. Like, you can stream and just talk to people now. Like, do a live stream or do a live, like, whatever. And what I'm thinking about doing, because they even broadcast it, it's like Twitch IRL. Like, you can talk to your viewers at home, or you can walk the halls of a convention and be talking to people. If this mobile platform app comes out before RTX, I already have a phone right now. I'm gonna try to buy another phone, and I'm going to vlog RTX. Not vlog, I'm going to live stream RTX. Like, I will have one camera that will be like a bird, like my point of view. Like, I'll probably have to get like a backpack strap and like clip this onto like my backpack strap or something, so you guys can have a visual, like, look at like what I'm looking at and what I'm experiencing. And then I'll have another phone that I can read the chat. So it's almost like I'm taking you guys to RTX with me. And I want to be able to do that, first off, because I won't have to worry about the massive amounts of editing and all that other stuff. I know I can get a GoPro, Flint, but a GoPro, it's not live. And I would need a fuck ton of SD cards. Yeah, and I know, and a GoPro is probably like the way to go, pro, no pun intended. Well, pun obviously intended, but a GoPro is probably the way to go, but for like quality wise. But if it's live, that's like the best thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's live, you know, but it's probably gonna be hours worth of stuff that people aren't gonna want to sit through, you know what I mean? So I'm not entirely sure how it's gonna go, because this is Alec, I see you really liked that pun I did. I just don't know how it's gonna go. I've never done it before. I have to hope that the app comes out before the summer, or before RTX, at least, so I can test it before anything and realize if it's gonna happen or if it's not gonna happen. Either way, I'm still gonna vlog on my camera. I just want people to be there with me, like literally with me as I'm there. But yeah, I don't know if that's something you guys would like, or if you guys would just prefer me just do the vlogs. Obviously, if I'm live stream, I'm gonna have to turn the live stream off whenever like sensitive stuff comes up, like when I go to a panel or something, like the RWBY panel. I can't show stuff like that via stream, because I mean, that's exclusive to people who are there, and eventually the public will see it. But But yeah, that's essentially what my plans are. I just don't know. If that's viable, if it's practical, if it's even able to happen, or if I'm able to pull it off the way that I'm thinking. But my phone will probably fucking shit the bed and die right in my hands. So I'm not entirely sure. But either way, if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna vlog again this year. Bigger and better things are gonna be happening. More people to meet. My channel was at 19,000 subscribers when I went to RTX last year. Now it's 37,000. It's almost at 38,000. So my channel's gained almost 20,000 subscribers since last year. From last year to July, so I still have a few more months to bridge that gap even more. But I know there's a ton more people that are going to know me, a bunch more people that are going to be going for the first time that want to meet me, that I want to meet and take pictures with and hang out with and all that. So, yeah, it did double actually from last year. From Volume 3 to Volume 4, my channel's like, I had less than 3,000 subscribers when I started Volume 3, when I started doing reactions. And then when Barbara and Miles and the RWBY kind of shouted me out and gave me all the shout-outs on YouTube and Twitter and live streams, that kind of blew up my channel. And my channel went from 2,700 subscribers in October to 37,000 subscribers in February, what will be tomorrow, February of 2017. So it's pretty incredible. It's literally insane. Yeah, people were asking me for autographs at RTX. I felt so bad because I have the shittiest handwriting in the world. Like, not handwriting, the shittiest signature. I don't have a signature, so I just wing it every time. So, I felt really bad. I felt like I was devaluing people's things by signing my name on it, especially since, like, one guy was like, hey, I want you to sign my backpack, and I got, like, Barbara and Gavin and Bernie to sign it. I'm like, you realize my name's gonna devalue this immensely, right? But, hey, people were super nice, super fucking nice. That guy Finn that I met, he was super cool. I wish I hung out with him, but I was just seeing him and passing him. If I see him again, or if I talk to him again, I would love to hang out with him and everybody else that I met. But, have I played 2.8? Absolutely. I finished 0.2. I finished Birth by Sleep on the lowest difficulty because I'm playing it on critical, because you have to beat the game in order to play it on critical. So, I'm doing that, and, I'm going to be bringing Kingdom Hearts to my channel in April. So, that's something that a lot of you guys can look forward to as well. I have a personal question. I'm 18 years old and have the money for RTX. Any tips as if I am going alone, with family? Bring a lot of fucking water. I cannot stress that enough. I underestimated how hot Texas is. Like, Texas is, like, the worst heat I've ever imagined. And I live in New England, so I experience all kind of heat, like, all kind of temperatures, and all kind of, like, like, just basically nature conditions. Like, it snows. It's snowing right now, actually. So I experience snow. I experience, like, windy days, blistering hot summers, below 0 degree weather in the winter. So, absolutely bring fucking water. Like, bring a case of water and then just pace yourself as you go. Always bring water when you're going somewhere. Bring at least 2 bottles. So that's the first thing. Number 2, I would say plan ahead. Like, find out what conventions you're going to. Don't expect to just, like, always have at least 2, like, I would say cap off at 2 panels, because unless you have VIP, you're probably not going to get into every panel you want to get to. When I went last year, I didn't want to go to a million panels. I went to the RWBY panel. I went to like, I think I went to 2 panels a day. I prioritized RWBY. And then, what did I go to? I went to the RWBY panel. I went to the RWBY animation panel. I went to marketing at Rooster Teeth. I went to the Rooster Teeth Animation Festival. I went to both RWBY panels, even though they told people not to, just because I fucking had. I was VIP, so there were empty seats, but I had to see it twice. So I went to the RWBY panel the next day. I had a panel on Sunday. And I think that was it. I went to like 6 panels in the 3 days. So I went to 2 panels per day. Can you do more videos in your living room? I really like your house. Maybe. I mean, my living room is just a living room. I spend more time in my room than anywhere else in the house, because this is where my setup is, and this is where my TV is for, like, when I play my games and when I stream games and when I edit and record and stuff like that. I actually you will see a video of my house to some extent, because next month I am doing a room change, and it's a severe room change, and it's a video that is definitely it's something that's gonna warrant a video. and a lot of you guys are really gonna like it, and it's probably gonna be a big thank you video, especially to a lot of you guys. Where did you get your Keyblade? Well, since I'm wrapping up the stream, I guess I can just get into some Q&A talk. Well, I feel like I've been doing that. That Keyblade was given to me... hold on. That Keyblade was given to me by my friend Zach for Christmas, 2 years ago? Or 3 years ago? Yeah, that was a Christmas gift. Most of those things on that wall are either gifts, or I bought them myself. So, like, I bought all the figures, I bought all the manga. The Roxas figure this Roxas figure was a Christmas gift. This Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which is also the shirt that I'm wearing, this was a Christmas gift from Zach as well. I bought the poster. I bought all the RWBY figures, and that was like over a course of years. And I'm not trying to like show off or brag or anything like that. Yeah, it's a Keyblade. I thought it was a fucking shovel. Why the fuck would I have a shovel on my wall? So what did I miss? The entire stream. Yeah, the live stream is definitely ending. It is 11:18, and I know a bunch of you guys probably have school tomorrow. I am pretty worn out right now. I have a few videos that I have to edit, and I have the next couple of days to kind of work on those before the finale comes out this Saturday. My reaction to this episode, Chapter 11, will be out this Saturday as well. My reaction to the finale will be out next weekend, as per the policy of Rooster Teeth. The weekend after that will be RWBY Chibi. And then the first week of March will be Red vs. Blue. And I'll be sprinkling some videos in between there. I have a video pitch for RTX. I have 2 more RTX-centric videos that I'm going to be working on and putting out. I'm going to have my RWBY Grim Eclipse full Let's Play stream video that I'm going to be doing, playing the entire game. What else? I have a couple of unboxing videos that you guys are going to be able to see. So that's going to be great. And yeah, so you guys are going to have a few videos into the finale of RWBY, after the finale of RWBY. Actually, here's the thing too. Here's one more thing. For any of you guys who are watching RVB, would you guys like if I did a, not necessarily, not like a live stream, not a discussion, like an episodic discussion, but would you guys like a season live stream discussion of Red vs. Blue as I finish those seasons? So, like, when I finish Season 4, would you guys like a live stream discussion talking about everything up to Season 4? Would you like a live stream discussion when I finish Season 5, Season 6, Season 7? Would that be something that you guys would be interested in? Because I feel like that'd be great. Because I don't review Red vs. Blue. I just do reactions, and then I just pick up where I left off on the last episode. I'll usually do, like, a short summary of my thoughts at the beginning of an episode. I'll watch the reaction, and then I'll give my thoughts again on the beginning of the next video. So I think it'd be kind of a cool way to get my more internal thoughts on Red vs. Blue instead of just reacting to it and not necessarily knowing how I feel about it unless you guys ask me those questions. So it could be kind of like a live stream discussion / Q&A. Like, I'll talk about what I liked about it, or what I thought about it, or where I think it's going, give my thoughts, and you guys can ask me questions based on what do you think is going to happen, or what was your favorite part, or stuff like that. Just more engaging stuff that, no spoilers obviously, just because, and I feel like I'm going to need more mods for that, for anyone who's seen RVB, just because I don't want to be spoiled. That's the only reason why I'm thinking about, that's the only thing that I'm thinking about that I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to be spoiled on something, like some asshole coming through and being like, so-and-so is so-and-so, or this happens, or this person dies, or this massive event happens, you know what I mean? I would definitely need people to be on the ball when it comes to being mods during those streams. Yeah, RVB 15 starts. So, realistically thinking about it, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make it further prior to RWBY Volume, prior to RWBY Chibi, but realistically, from so March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So I have 8 months from starting Red vs. Blue to RWBY Volume 5 coming out. In those 8 months, I want to go for about a season a month. Like, I was thinking about doing 1 reaction per week because I do clusters of episodes, but I don't know how well that'll work because I know eventually the episodes get longer to where they stand alone on their own, instead of having clustered episodes. So I don't know the pacing that I want to do. I want to do more than 1 video a week, but I am focusing on streaming when RWBY ends as well. And then RWBY Chibi is going to be coming up, which that's not too much of a problem because that's like a 5-minute thing. But I just need to manage figuring out what I want to do for Red versus Blue. It's definitely going to be on a schedule. Every week I want to have a reaction video up. But I kind of feel like I kind of want to do more than one reaction video, so I'm making more progress. But I don't know. At least right now, I know it's going to be one video a week, and it's going to be consistent, so you guys don't have to worry about that. The RWB episodes never get super long, to be honest. Really, like they never get to like where RWBY is, like 12-minute episodes and such. Like I mentioned, for those of you who weren't here when I showed it off, I got this for Christmas. This is the Red vs. Blue seasons 1 through 10, I believe. Yeah, seasons 1 through 10. So I'm going to be rewatching seasons 1 through 3 on this to catch up where I last left off in RWB before I get back to my reactions. And then from that point on, it'll be like a weekly updated kind of thing for anyone who's looking forward to RWB, since I kind of dropped it abruptly. But, yeah, I'll live stream every season. If you guys want me to do that, I'll do that. Like, that's why I kind of want your take on it. And I'll make a poll on YouTube, on Twitter tonight, actually, asking people if I do Red versus Blue once I do Red versus Blue reactions again, would you guys like if I did live stream discussions, at the end of every season? So, they never get that long until season 9-ish. Okay. I can't wait to see what Monty did. I really can't wait to see that, because that's like where his like craft just started shining when he first came to Rooster Teeth, and I've never seen it before. And if like, I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna just bawl my eyes out when that part gets here. But that is the live stream, guys. Thank you all so much for sticking around. I know there's 446 of you guys still in here, but of the collective 700 people that 800 people actually that showed up, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry that this was a bit delayed. It was supposed to be out on Sunday, but I had computer issues. So this live stream discussion for the finale, unless something again happens to my computer, which I'm hoping, fingers crossed it doesn't, will be happening on Sunday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel. If you're following me on Twitter, you'll get the tweet of when I'm going to do it, when it goes live, when you guys can expect it. And for everybody else who's here, it will be going down this Sunday. My reaction for episode 11 will be out this weekend. My reaction for the finale will be out next weekend, as per, again, the policy of Rooster Teeth. The weekend after that will be RWBY Chibi, and then probably a week of miscellaneous videos that I'm working on the back end, and then RWB in March. So thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys for sticking around for probably what is probably now 3.5 hours. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 3.5 hours this live stream was. So thank you guys, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. Someone asked about P.O. Box videos. Yes, I haven't gone to my P.O. Box in a couple weeks. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll check my P.O. Box tomorrow. I have a P.O. Box video, which is one of the videos that you'll get later in the week, either this week or next week, of the one that I did during Christmas. And then I have some packages here that I haven't opened yet that I'm going to wait until I go to my P.O. Box to do another collective video. So, essentially, you guys will be checking those out, too, for anyone who sent me things, and I'm very grateful for that as well. But that is the stream, guys. You all have a good night. Enjoy work if you work in the morning. Enjoy school if you have school in the morning, or anything else. Yeah, my mailman doesn't hate me. Every time I go to the post office, the guy who's always there, who like signs off my packages, he's always like, he hasn't asked me yet what I do or why I get so many packages, but he always makes a facial expression like he's like going back like 3-4 times like for packages for me. So but yeah, thank you guys, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys enjoying the videos, and I'm grateful that you guys are still supporting me after all this time. Like I said, videos will be coming out in the next couple of days, and I will see you guys again for the finale reaction discussion video that I'm pretty bummed out about, but we have a lot of stuff else to look forward to. RWBY's going to be back eventually, and Red vs. Blue is going to be taking up some time of mine, so thank you guys very much, and have a good night. Take care.